I heard that plant leaves are like really good, like for bouncing.
Man, you lying.
You got a fuckload of plant leaves over here. They'll have you used to.
All right, guess what? We're live.
Chicken butt.
Oh, well, we're pre-recorded.
Well,
You're going to get us pre-recorded.
here's to recording.
Cheers.
Salud.
We have a very special guest. I've known him for, I don't know, we've known him for...
In Filipino years, that would be like, maybe like, let's see, 5.
So he's basically our cousin uncle.
Yeah, it's one of those like when you meet like it's kind of like how when I met Ancheta, it's like, yeah, I know this guy for like 13 years already. It's like even though technically we've only known each other for 7.
Yeah, that's long enough.
It's long enough.
That's
It's
a
long
good
enough.
stretch. That's
Like
not
when you
bad.
go through like the shit and stuff, you know, you kind of like it. Wait, are we saying the title?
I don't know if we have a title.
Is there a title?
You know what? I think you're just gonna like
Just
let
fix it
this
in
run,
post.
huh?
Fix it in post.
Yeah.
AKA me. All right, well, anyways,
Dub it like
we're
a-
introducing a very good friend and colleague of ours, Mr. John Maniquis.
Hi, everyone.
And in classic fashion, this wouldn't be the staff meal, or this is the
Big Boy
Big Boy Cooking Club podcast. Wouldn't be true fashion. This is our first YouTube episode.
No sexy intro
No sexy intro, because you know why? We're all sweaty. We're eating Filipino food.
because Filipino is not sexy.
Yeah. John, tell us what we're having.
What was that?
Well, tell us what we're dining with.
We are actually, I ordered from TURO Cafe. Shout out. Love you
Ooh.
Put the mic closer.
guys. Very good cooking. So TURO Cafe on Geneva. We have some sisig and some chicken adobo with some steamed rice.
Yo, look at that sub bow, dude.
You know,
I don't know if like y'all can see this one, but like
you can see it.
the oil separation.
You know,
is-
that's how I like my women.
yes,
You know what I mean? Let me tell you,
greasy
my
and
friend.
salty. Yes, I know.
Because there's a little bit of grease, a little bit of fat. You don't hate it, but you don't mind it.
Okay.
And sometimes when you taste it, it's better than what you thought it was.
I thought you
Right?
I thought you said you like your women like chicken adobo, where it's
It's a
like
little bit of smell.
it's only good towards the end.
Can I get a little bit of that? And a little bit of that. There's potatoes in this too.
Yeah, the potato's bigger than the chicken.
You know what? I've never had potatoes in adobo until like later in life.
I grew up with it.
And I didn't find it awkward. I just like, huh. And then when you eat the potato, you're like, yo, this is a adobo flavored potato. And then you're like,
It's true.
might as well.
Soaked it up. It's all starchy, but
Yeah.
saucy.
So, anyways, we've been trying to plan this for a little while,
About a couple of months, maybe.
a couple of months,
Uh huh.
you know, and we didn't want to do it with John before because we didn't have any good equippies until a couple months ago.
Yeah, I think it's when we like started to actually do things more professionally instead of like, duct taping stuff.
For real. Long story short, before we had any of this nice mics, headphones, DSLR mirrorless, we were running through an iPad and lapel mics
iPad lapel mics and then FaceTiming for the
and
duration,
FaceTiming,
duration for the entire podcast.
so we can see what how we're like doing shit.
Yeah. Just so we don't be like.
I thought you guys were FaceTiming in the same room.
No, Jesus Christ.
No.
That would make plenty of sense.
It was actually more convenient that way. I have to say, it was really convenient because I didn't have to wear pants, or anything, and I just had to I just have to talk right here. All you need to see is my face, and I'm, wording things to you, and then be like, "Oh man, we gotta."
Shout out to potatoes and adobo, dude. This is fire.
Are you serious? Not my cup of tea.
You don't like the potato?
Hard-boiled eggs and adobos.
Fat.
Hot take.
Way more
Hot take.
cholesterol.
So think of it as like the ramen egg, right? The ramen
Yeah.
egg.
So that's how you traditionally have yours? Ramen egg in your adobo? That's the technique
No.
they learned?
No. The ramen egg that's been soaked in like dashi and shoyu and everything like that. Imagine that in adobo flavor. Get your whole life right now.
Yeah, there ain't no Japanese training to cook that egg in the Philippines, son.
That's true.
But anyways, John, thank you for hosting us. And thank you for this beautiful meal. By the way,
Yeah.
we're sipping on this beautiful smoked Negroni.
Negroni.
It's good.
Reason why we wanted to shoot with John and record with John is because we had two things on our mind. Number one, he's he's the coffee authority that I can go to. And he was the coffee authority at our former employer. Mm-hmm. And he ran shit there, created dope coffee cocktails and mocktails, and also as well as a cocktail and spirits enthusiast, would you say?
I would say so, yes.
I'm not gonna lie when I say I dream about those things too.
Yeah. And we're starting off.
We did a lot of R&D, like the three of us, where I knew that, like, okay, I need palettes right now. And as much as I trust my own, like, you know, direct staff, I was like, you know what? This is some out-of-the-box kind of, like, I don't want to say next level because that sounds really stuffy, but it's just pushing boundaries, right? And I you know, I figured, well, my kababayan, right? It's similar palettes, but we're all indoctrinated in American flavors,
homies,
right? just subtitles.
I'm like, I'm the translator.
And you know, I would always look for you guys and be like, okay, you guys need to taste this. Tell me what's up. You know, is it too much of anything? Is it too weak? Da, da, da. So, thank you for being basically my guinea pigs.
No,
really.
no problem.
Oh,
You
of
know,
course.
the thing about Filipinos is like we have no filter.
Yeah, we didn't want, like, we're not going to kiss your ass.
We'll call that shit out. It's like, yo,
It's too bitter.
it's like,
Oh, you're drinking coffee. It don't taste like a chocolate.
it's like instant coffee. It's like Nescafe.
And the best part is the way John would, like, greet me. He, you know, first it was professional. Hey, what's going on? My name is John. After that,
Yeah, out the window.
After the
Out the-
professional things, out the window. After that, it was just, you know, good old Filipino accent coming
Yeah.
through the door.
Yeah.
Or the
That sweet. The first time he said popcorn to me, I literally walked out of the kitchen when he said, "Hey, you should try this popcorn." But he didn't say it the way I just said it. Go ahead and say it out for me.
Hey, Ancheta, you want to try some popcorn?
And I went,
It's the you know.
got up and left. I
You know,
got up
like
and left.
the Nordics have the O's with the strike throughs and the umlauts. I don't know what we put in there.
You want the popcorn?
He said that. I literally closed my laptop and walked out of the kitchen.
As you always do.
And he started like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Dude, I haven't heard anybody talk like that to me for so long."
I know. I miss those days where like you're like working so hard in the kitchen and you're in the shit and everything, and then John comes in with like a single sentence of like that Tagalog accent, and I'm like, my day seems a little bit better. I don't give a fuck. My day seems a lot better.
So, John,
Number 2, you said coffee. Number 2,
Oh yeah, what's the other one?
being a cocktail enthusiast,
there you go. Chew your food.
um,
This is good for the recording.
ASMR.
Close your mouth.
I knew, you know what's funny? The fact that I knew we were recording, I was like, I gotta close my mouth. I gotta be a little neater. I'm gonna sit up a little better. I'm gonna use proper technique
Bro, no.
for
Dude,
fork and spoon.
We're doing this. We're doing this.
Oh,
and
hang
this. And the.
Hey, you know what, Francis? Go ahead, pop a cigarette if you're done eating. And by the way, just to interject, does your family eat a banana right after their meal?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know why?
Yeah. It
'Cause if you-
took me years. Took me years.
I'll tell you why.
What is it?
Because if you eat the tinik and the fish,
Yeah.
the banana will push the.
That's true. That's true. That's happened to my cousin, and I was like, oh my god, she's choking. She's like, you know, and it's like, well, what do we do? And then like, feed her banana. We're like
Yeah,
stuffing banana
yeah.
in her mouth, and then she swallowed it, and it was fine.
And tinik is bones in Tagalog.
Yeah.
Fishbone, right? Or is
Yes.
that bone in general?
Tinik is for
Fishbone, right?
For fishbone. Buto is for
Bone.
regular bones.
Yeah. Like
Oh.
Dinosaur.
I'm Ilocano. I'm that dark northern.
That don't make any sense, man.
I don't know. That's just my cop out for not knowing Tagalog.
I know. Like my relatives are Lucano.
Come on, man. Everybody is.
I know.
Those are my top 2 things for knowing John, for at least on a professional. And then after that, I think we just kind of gelled.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really easy to get along with you guys.
You know what I mean?
It's you know,
And there's-
even aside from the you know
The work thing?
cultural, you know.
Yeah, and then I just
Commonality, I
gelled
guess.
with like the entire team like he
Yeah.
had, and it was just easy to hang out and just bullshit with.
Exactly. Exactly.
Shout out to Lou. Shout out to
He's at TJ's. He's at Trader Joe's again. Yeah.
dude, he got the
Becca.
shirts. Shout out to Becca, miss her,
Becca's the shit.
and then shout out to
She,
your guys' mom down there. I know it's love hate relationship.
Oh, we had a new mom in the end. Remember?
And we did, yes,
Yeah.
it did have a new mom in the end.
Yeah.
Shouts to her too, but I mean, at the end of the day, it was fun. We've had our headaches.
Oh.
We were trying to deal with things professionally, but I mean, it goes hand in hand.
It's one of these.
I'm gonna say. I'll say something. That's not my mom. Or like if they try to say something to me, it's like, you're not my mom. I'm not Ilocano.
And then the reason why we wanted John on this pod, me and Francis, was I don't know shit about coffee, but we live in a city.
I don't either. I'm just making it up.
Well,
Hey, man.
well, thank you for coming.
Well-
We're about to wrap this up.
But in terms of like knowing, like, you could give me McCafe and the Pikes Roast from Starbucks.
Starbucks.
And I'm gonna say they both taste like a little bit of chocolatey cigarette.
But that's accurate, though. That's accurate. That's the beauty of. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little bit of the coffee in it.
Let's do it. This is what we do.
Here it
A
goes,
lot of
folks.
people,
Here it goes.
when we go through tastings, right, and you've seen me host it, you've been a part of it yourself, where we go through, tastings and tasting notes. We take the verbiage and the knowledge that that wine has given us, which is great, right? Because it's given us a lot of adjectives to describe flavors and profiles, and things taste like tobacco, like you said, or lemon peel, or whatever. And there's a whole taste wheel that the coffee world has. However, within that construct, if you taste cigarettes and I taste something as like black plum and date, and then you say it tastes like cardboard, all of us are correct, because flavor is subjective.
Fuck.
Right?
So,
In that sense,
Okay.
no one's ever wrong, and that's why whenever there's third wave coffee, and like there's fancier coffee, and like what we call truck stop divey coffee or diner coffee.
I love those.
When you
You
said
can love diner coffee.
when you said
yes, right?
when you said the
Okay.
third wave,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is the third wave the whole artisan blend? And,
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think part of that third wave was like when I used to work in restaurants too. You have your front of house and back of house meeting. Like, all right, hey guys, offer this to the guests.
Mhm.
We get this coffee from blah blah blah. All right, everyone taste it. Then you have the guy who's like, the rep who's there.
Sure.
All right, guys, you're gonna smell vanilla,
Right. Right.
plum,
Right.
and then it's like on the when you taste it, it tastes a little tart like grapefruit. And I taste it, I'm like, are you selling me this? Because I don't taste any grapefruit. And then you see everyone else around you.
Nodding.
They're like, oh yeah, for sure, the grapefruit.
Yeah.
I'm like, taste that.
That can only go two ways. They're faking the funk and bullshitting
No,
that they're tasting it, or they're actually tasting some of it because it's suggested.
okay.
Suggestion. The power of suggestion.
So, even with your delts, when you were in the coffee and roastery industry,
Mhm.
in a personal take, how much of it, when you're trying to at least convince? I said convinced.
It's convinced.
Convince a guest on flavor profile. How much of it is sales, and how much of it is like education?
I was a horrible salesman. I was a horrible salesman in the sense where I was too honest to become a salesman, because I would tell them, they would say, I don't taste it, and I'm like, that's okay. And you probably don't. It's totally fine. My question is always, is it for you? Do you like it? And is it good on your tongue?
I thought you were
Right?
like
See?
I thought you would say like you're a horrible salesman, because you're like nah, you're too broke to buy this coffee. But
No.
I don't even buy.
Dude, coffee, like I don't drink coffee very much, just
I do.
because like in the morning when everyone like offers me coffee on a empty stomach, it's like it's too acidic for me.
Yeah,
gotta
and
get
then,
used to
then
it.
some people are very, sensitive to that.
And then
as
next
well.
thing you know,
So
I gotta
that
go
you have
to-
to respect that,
You know,
Go poo poo.
gotta go poo poos.
Yeah.
Right?
which is perfect because it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy
Time it.
coffee and cigarettes for breakfast.
No, coffee, cigarettes. Basically, coffee is the fuel. Cigarettes is the fire.
Okay, let's
Boom.
let's run through this.
Jim Jarmusch.
What is
movie.
your
That was
what is your ideal
amazing.
way?
Coffee and cigarettes.
What is your ideal way, Francis? What is your ideal like cup of coffee? Are you an espresso person?
No,
Are you a straight drip?
You like volume, right?
I do like. So I'm basing this on like my very first cup of coffee when I was like 7 years old. My grandma.
When you say when I was 7 years old, had a beautiful cup of coffee, I imagine a fucking little kid, shirt barely over his belly button.
No. Like one of those like sandos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, holding a cup
That's
of coffee.
tank top in English.
I have to put subs at the bottom of the screen for every time we say a Tagalog.
It doesn't
term.
mean sandwich.
There's gonna have a lot of like terms in here that's like
Mm-hmm.
in Tagalog or in English, but it's actually like in the vernacular. But anyway, 7 years old, my grandma made me a cup of coffee. So I drank this because in the Philippines, like milk was kind of hard to come by. Like you couldn't get like super fresh milk. Like if you do, it's usually like powdered milk. Which is, I'm not gonna lie, that shit's delicious.
I've never had like regular straight fresh milk in the Philippines.
Really?
I don't know. I didn't think it existed. I grew up with
like,
powder
Did you have Nido
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
like Klim?
with a can. I need a spoon to like
Yeah.
open it up. Yep.
You ever just like spoon it in your mouth and just make custard?
Yeah. And then you pop and it's just powder everywhere. Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So like my cup of coffee would be, so you pour 8 ounces in and then you add like sugar, usually
Mhm.
like 2 teaspoons or something,
Mhm.
brown sugar,
Ooh, big.
and then
Well, brown sugar is great over there. So
oh yeah, brown sugar is cane sugar,
yeah,
real good sugar.
it's like real good.
like turbinads.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's like and to add to this greatness, it's either evaporated milk or condensed milk. Condensed milk, if I'm feeling like I need all this fucking energy all day, throw that in there. Evaporated milk is like I gotta go to school.
That Eagle brand.
Yeah.
No, not
And
even.
evaporated milk was magic.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I mean,
On
it is.
everything.
It's as if it's like doesn't exist anymore.
You ever had champorado with regular milk? That doesn't work. Evaporated milk, champorado, that shit stays in the swirl.
You know what I
Yeah.
totally forgot to ask too? Because we jumped right into like Filipino food and all that. In a nutshell, John, what is your origin story? Before we go, like,
Shit.
Wait,
I'm so
what
sorry.
origin story?
well, because
I was born 2 days ago.
when, I think when people like, I think when everyone else who's gonna watch and listen to this, like, I guess I was like Francis and Chris's buddy, right? If you want to give your own like your origin story, where you're from originally.
I mean, we can coax it out of you.
Oh, I know. It's okay. So it's funny whenever I enter a new workspace with new coworkers, you're like, you get the little 30-second blurb. Tell us about yourself.
My name is John.
And-
here to say.
A lot of people,
Oh
a lot of people will be like, I worked here.
Yeah.
I went
yeah.
to school here. Blah 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 blah. I'm always like straight up, like, okay.
Yeah, I have that template already like
for
preset
me,
in me.
almost always born and raised in the Philippines.
Boom.
Moved here in '90.
Yep.
Sounded like this pretty much 6 months after I got off the plane, but
J.O.J.
still speak my native language.
JOJ, just off the jet.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like
But
that's my little little.
But you're an LA transplant.
Yeah, don't tell anyone.
LA transplant.
You do one of these. Don't tell
Yeah.
anybody.
LA transplant. LA transplant. Spread your fingers apart.
I'll speak on that, and then we're gonna get back into like the coffee and the Philippines
Yeah.
thing. So we moved to LA, lived there for quite a bit, and I kept traveling down. I ended up in Long Beach the last time I lived in SoCal, which was my favorite city actually down there.
LBC.
Obviously.
Obviously, it's a shit.
You put it down for the 213.
And then, when I visited San Francisco, I was like, I fucking love the city. The people are great. And then I found out about the one-way, what's the word I'm looking for?
Train.
That's the word.
Rivalry. There's a one-way rivalry where San Franciscans or Bay Area people do not like LA people, but LA people love San Franciscans.
Yeah, I never understood that.
I get it now because
That exists, actually?
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like in every aspect. Like,
Pretty much in general. I mean,
our weather's
it's-
better than yours.
No, it's just
Mm-mm.
the people in general, right?
Oh, okay.
It's like socializing. I don't know.
Yeah,
Something
and
like
it's just really more, and that's kind of the reason why. Sorry, SoCal. That's the reason why I left SoCal was, well, one, I needed a change. I was kind of getting bored with life. I needed something different, and two, I was just wanting to experience a different kind of personality in a city. I love New York. I almost moved to New York, so it was between
Oh.
New York and SF because I love New York people. Get to the point,
Oh, you want personality.
but they're
You know
nice,
your-
they're great. I love it. It's my favorite kind of people, right? And then I also thought, well, San Francisco's fantastic. Maybe I should try that. It's a little bit more local to my my brothers, so I can still visit them, because it's not like all the way out the coast.
Right.
Got it.
So, but yeah, now I get it. It's like, my group of friends were great, but in LA, just like, the food spots and like the, I don't want to say clubs, but you know what I mean? Like the
Like
music
nightlife
scenes.
and all that. Yeah.
Exactly. The bars, all those things are great if you know where to go and if you have a local guiding you, right? If you
I
just
gotcha.
go and you're like, okay, well, let's just Yelp Travelocity this, let's figure it out, or like see what,
Yeah, at least just
whatever
a
food
metro.
blog,
Just
it's going to guide you a certain way, but you would get a better experience if you had a local guiding you, which is not as good as if you were in San Francisco. You can literally do the tourist route, still amazing.
yeah.
You can do the locals route, which is way better, of course. Or you can just kind of do a little bit of everything and kind of get lost and find things, which is the best, I think. It's just
Yeah,
like,
the city's
what's the donut shop?
the city's big and small enough to do all of that.
Exactly. So, it has an advantage over SoCal in the sense where if you go to your favorite taco spot
Mm-hmm.
and then you're like, I want to go get drinks now, it's like 45 minutes to an hour and a half driving to that other spot. It's like, oh, well, so-and-so spinning at this club. It's like, okay, well,
True.
This
let's
is
go
LA.
over there 40 minutes. Yeah, like LA in general or just SoCal
Yeah.
in general. So it's just everything's so spread out. You have to have a car. It's a different scene. It's a different vibe.
Driving sucks in LA. So.
And I think that's the draw for me for New York and San Francisco was the smaller the city, the more compact it is, the commuting is actually great. You can take a subway in New York. You can take
New York's
a bus
actually
here you can
pretty
bike.
good for that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like 3:00 in the morning in New York. Oh, it's still on.
Yeah.
That's
and then
wild
with
to
the,
me.
with the people in SoCal, it's like a lot of people. I've worked in the restaurant industry for 15 to 20 years, and 90% of the staff is someone waiting to meet a casting director or that whole thing, right?
That thing.
It's
Super
very,
LA.
and that's why the movie Swingers. That's basically my life coming up, like as an early 20-something person,
I get it.
which
I
is
get it.
great.
We get it. Yeah.
But everyone's
BTS
just
behind
like,
the scenes, right?
you
So
know.
did you ever meet a casting director?
I mean, I met a lot of celebrities, but not. I was never trying to break into the industry. I wasn't
Okay,
an actor.
okay.
Yeah, that wasn't my thing. So
Never knew that till now.
yeah, SoCal's. It's cool.
I
It's
did
cool to
that.
visit. It's too
We probably should have opened that way.
It's too
I know.
hot.
I think I was
Oh.
way too excited.
So coffee in the Philippines.
Got it. Back to it.
Back to it. We talked about this, and I've mentioned this, and you were like, "What the fuck is that?" And I said, "Yes, I know exactly. It's weird." Growing up, my lolo on my mom's side, lolo means grandfather.
Well, his grandfather.
Well, grandfather.
We would have breakfast that my yaya made, cooked.
Also known as governess in Britain.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's
That's
it.
true. I know
Um,
stupid facts. I don't or trivia, whatever you want to call it.
So we had, fresh baked pan de sal from across the street, which is like a
Panisali's
bakery.
bread.
I think most people know that.
There's a dude
Um,
right now. Hello. Is there 2 W's, 1 W?
In Sol, pan de sal.
Is it spelled like low, like
Oh,
L-O-W?
L-O-W, L-O-W, L-O, or L-O-W?
So, and his ritual, his morning ritual was rice, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be fried rice. It could be just regular
Oh
rice.
no.
And egg, but he would put his coffee
Okay.
Oh no.
into his rice.
Okay.
Okay.
All
And
right.
it's very-
I kind of hunt.
And I'm like, as a kid, and even now, I'm like eating. I'm just like,
I'm like, I'm like, okay, so
So
I
you're
actually
telling me
know.
this plate?
I know folks like
but some people do that.
back in old country. I know actually people who do that, and I thought it was like
Back
maybe that's like just a quirk that like people want to have like something hot and like cereally kind of thing, but
I don't get it.
I don't get it
I
either.
don't get it.
So rice,
Loose ass Ars Caldo coffee
hot coffee,
Yeah.
and an egg.
sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Or sardines.
Yes, the lata.
Yeah.
What is the
Lata
name of
can.
that? Or is that just a thing?
It gross is what's called in my book. I don't like it.
Sardinas means sardines.
Yeah.
So do like
Legal
some
brand.
Legal.
red or green can.
Ooh.
Red.
I fuck with the green sometimes.
Whoa.
Red for the OG.
Red for the OG.
Green for like it's my birthday. I get 2 cans and an
Wait,
egg.
which one was spicy?
The red one, right?
I think there's actually an orange can.
They
For
ain't
the
no
spice?
damn. Or
For the
was that
spice.
habanero?
Yeah. No. It's so Filipino levels of spice is
I can't believe
like
you don't like the potato one. This adobo, babe.
knock yourself out, man. I'm just gonna judge you. Like,
What's up?
but I
Some
think
more rice.
I thought the green one was the spicy.
Was it?
Isn't the green one spicy?
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
Because red can. Because I'm going by
Red can is like the OG,
That has
right?
the tomato
red can
sauce in
is
it.
the shoyu
Yeah.
ramen of like
Right, sure.
It's like
That's the
OG.
chicken flavor.
Is that chicken ramen? It's the chicken flavor. And then you get Like the green one, which is probably like a little bit more on the spicier side, because it has like, I don't know, like the Spanish style like spice.
Spanish style
for sardines.
But all our chilies, right?
Yeah, but all our sardines are like tomato based,
Mm-hmm.
which is amazing when you mix that shit with eggs.
Yeah, that's true.
And as a kid, I thought it was like, oh, there's some bones in it. Then my mom's like, you can eat the bones. I'm like, fuck yeah, I can eat the bones. And then you're feeling it in your tongue.
I don't remember if I ate the bones. I don't think I did.
It's like,
because it's really, really thin.
yeah, it's more like the backbone,
Yeah.
which is kind of like just, it's like little tiny bones, like you're eating like a shrimp head or something.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, that's a bit savory.
Yeah. By the way, I ate shrimp the other day.
Dude, I can't believe you eat shrimp. This guy had such a bad allergy.
I'm allergic to shrimp. I ate 5
I
shrimp.
learned that working at Pinterest.
That sucks.
He puffed at like the whole face got red in his neck, and I was like, dude, what happened? He was like, I think the shrimp is something.
I think the shrimp is something.
And then I'm like, dude, you should go tell Chef. And then Chef P blames him for having this allergy. Why?
I'm sorry.
Why do you have the allergy and you ate it?
I'm sorry.
Did you know there was shrimp in the...
No.
No, that's the thing. Like, they were because the thing is also an allergen for everybody. So it's a
Right.
known allergen. And I'm like, I'm staying away from everything that has.
Wait. Was it... We're going to get in trouble. Like, them as in Pinterest.
I'm going to say.
Was it labeled?
Yes.
Okay.
In general, I think there may have been a tinge of cross contamination prior to sending the product out. But the good thing is, like, no, the client never got any allergic reactions except for me because I took that bullet for the client.
Well,
So
there you
I'm
go.
a goddamn hero.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for
Take
your
that
service.
shit.
Thank you for your service.
Okay.
There you go.
Where's my medal? It's a shrimp medal.
It's the peel away part of the can.
Oh, man.
That's what it is.
But yeah, so
man.
coming back to Lolo's story, means grandfather in physical.
Lolo.
Like my grandpa would also do like this thing where it's like he actually eats like salad for like
the fuck?
breakfast. Salad breakfast.
When you say salad, what kind of salad?
I have a salad story for you guys, but go ahead.
Tomato and salted eggs.
Yeah, like the tomato, the little petit soy.
The salted.
Yes, that's just
salted-
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Okay,
You know that
check
is,
this
right?
out.
Yeah, yeah.
For
Okay,
sure.
so Filipino definition of salad. There's one vegetable in it, and
And
then
an
the
egg.
rest is like fucking salted duck egg, and then suka or whatever. And then
I don't
like,
know why we're diabetic, though. I don't get it.
Because we came to this.
condensed milk. That's why. Condensed milk.
You ever dip that hot pound of salt in that condensed milk, boy?
Hot pot is all with anything.
hot pounded salt in coffee
Magic.
changes both.
Yeah.
That coffee, rice, and egg thing. Is that something your grandpa just did? Like,
The egg was optional. It was more, I think it was so...
did you ever ask, or were you one of those ages like, if I ask, I'm either gonna get my ass beat?
No, because in the moment, it was peculiar to me because I'm like, I don't know if that would taste good. But I'm also, it's like 6 a.m. I have to get ready for school, right? And I'm in my sando, tank top,
Sando.
eating breakfast. My hair's still wet from the shower or whatever. And
Suave.
and I'm just watching my grandpa do the thing. And, it's one of those things where, like, it stuck with me.
Did you
But
ever
it wasn't
eat
like, hold the phones, what's going on? It was just more like, my grandpa's eating breakfast. And then I think later on in life, it was one of those memories that stuck with me. And I'm like, what's that about?
Did you ever taste it, or did he offer you?
I think I might have tasted it, and I was, but I also didn't like coffee when I was a kid.
Of course.
So, which is
Wow.
normal
This
because
guy.
you like sweet things.
That's true.
Getting back to the powdered milk thing, there was a thing where I would mix Ovaltine or Milo
I know where this is going.
and the powdered milk and a little bit of sugar and just like a slurry, and you just mix it up. It's just powder, and you're
Yep.
eating it
Yep.
like it's cereal.
I've done that.
It's weird, but it's delicious.
Fran just made that. Remember, we had this pop up years ago. And we thought of a dessert,
I made a Milo ice cream.
a Milo ice cream, but then we decided to take some powdered milk and polvoron
Oh,
Crumble that shit.
and like recreate like I guess you could say a more finer version of it.
We made like a what was that, a pulveron
Milo polvoron
Milo pulveron.
and condensed milk like
Ice cream.
ice cream.
Milo pulveron condensed milk ice cream. Yes, those were the good days.
Excuse me, huh?
Excuse me. Excuse
Had to
me.
get my medicine.
Um, That's just there's a beer in the freezer that I'm cooling for you guys for Zoit.
Whoa. The guy has a timer for beer.
Well, it was in the cupboard. Speaking of making Filipino food fancy, we had a conversation about this. We have a laundry list, by the way, guys. We were texting each other before the episode.
We got so excited.
Wait. There's like a really, really subtle thing that we just did here, where if y'all were just like noticing how we ate.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna hand that off to you.
Oh my god, you're a mess. Look at me. Look at you.
I don't want to eat so many carbs. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna put it away.
Fuck, now you make me feel guilty. And it's on camera. Why would you do that?
You know what's weird on camera? This screwdriver.
Fuck, man. You
stab you
cleaned
with
your
that.
plate, though. That's really nice.
See, that's how you clean your plate. But the thing is, like,
Yeah, but see, I was trying to have a little bit of like, look good eating it.
what people may
I saw you
have
shovel that
what
shit.
people may have noticed is like how we actually ate our food with a spoon and fork.
Yeah. There's a technique.
That's magical. So if you guys want to like rewind back and watch
We
each
didn't
of,
do kamay.
each our
Oh, man. Bro,
Some
I-
banana leaf.
even then, I still know how to eat kamayan properly.
I can do that. Corey.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I think each of us have a different spoon and fork eating method of the shovel and like eating stuff.
Ooh, okay. So I'm glad you brought that up
Yeah.
because I don't get to talk about little nuances. Actually, give me one of those real quick. I need the spoon.
It's spoon.
So most
Ka-chow.
Americans, and I learned this after I assimilated in American culture,
Mm-hmm.
where
God, I love the way he used assimilated. Perfect.
where Americans they hold the spoon like this, like
Yeah.
a pencil,
Yeah. Yes.
and I'm just like, what's going on? Or like
I
a
know.
fork. It's
Yeah.
not even a spoon; it's a fork, and it's in their dominant hand. When I'm like, what? Because the fork is always in my weak hand.
Yep.
Because you
100%.
have to do the spoon, the dominant hand, and the fork was the
Shoveler.
Yeah.
into the
Oh
spoon.
my God.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
vessel with the dominant hand goes
Uh-huh.
into your mouth.
Yes.
When I had to switch, I was like, I don't, and it took me a little bit of practice. It's
Eating
like
at
learning
like,
how
eating
to,
at like
you
a
know.
sizzler. You're like,
What do you
I
mean?
can't
What do you mean? You gotta switch? Just to eating like with a fork?
Yeah,
I remember when I
So
learned
sad.
just try eating with a fork, and I was like, "This is fucking."
because when I don't know if you guys do this, but when I grew up, it was like this.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
that's
so you eat like this
yeah.
because this was not natural. It
Yeah.
didn't
If
make
you
any
ask somebody to
sense.
pick up your spoon and they don't do this, it's like, are you drinking soup? Like even with soup, you don't do this. You do this for soup because you're like, I'm gonna shovel this shit.
Chris is like,
That's what I
I
was
go
like-
like this.
Me not know.
Like a cherry picker. Me.
Me not know.
Yeah, I totally know what you mean about that. I remember learning how to eat spaghetti the right way with a
man.
fork because my dad worked in front of house in a restaurant. He's like, this is how this is how they eat it at my work. And I saw my dad twisting, and I was like, what the fuck? How do you do that?
Twirl it. You do
Yeah.
the twirl with a spoon or just twirl with a fork?
If you could twirl with a spoon, you're
No,
You're like Dr. Strange to
the,
me.
The spoon is for assist. Some
Yeah.
people
no.
do the-
Just regular fork, not
Oh,
the
okay,
twirl,
okay.
the super
Yeah, I mean,
fancy.
but I saw that. Well, that was in the Philippines for me. Like,
Bro, I saw
people
that in
did
cartoons.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Bugs Bunny.
We did okay. So as someone who grew up there, you tend to learn a lot of habits and things like
TV.
American culture wise
From
through
TV.
television or
I
cartoons.
kind of want to elaborate on that too. I know what you mean. Because
Really
like
funny.
even like my cousins or even me just growing up, right? I was like, if I saw something on TV, I'm like, all right, that's what like white or like Americans or like people do to look cool or be cool.
Mhm.
Okay, right? And then that goes from like when people come over abroad to the States, they're like, did you see that shit in some sort of like commercial or movie? Because that looks so weird the way you're doing it. But then they're like, yeah, because I guess this is what you fucking people do over here.
Here's
You know what I mean?
Here's the criticism that I got from because I went to start in middle school in the Philippines. Like, okay, I'm born and raised there too.
Yeah.
Moved here when I was 20.
Yep.
So people are always like, "Why is your accent so good?"
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's a common thing.
that. I mean, like, that's not insulting to me, but some people think that's like, well, that's like a little like insulting because
Insensitive,
it's,
yeah.
insensitive kind of. But I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm like, I learned all
Yeah.
this stuff on TV, and to the point that like when I went to school, like first grade, I was already like well versed in speaking English
Exactly.
because of like
Because they beat us. They beat it into us.
yes. My parents like spoke to me in English first, and then like if they're really mad, it's like it's like like, that's when they start talking Tagalog. You know, also our maids, also spoke English. That's why we were like,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know he was rich.
social.
Yeah,
So
last
shall
name
we-
is
Did you
Mendoza.
have your own driver?
It's like no,
Did you? He's lying.
the driver is daddy. Daddy, daddy, take the kids to school. It's like I still have to wake up. I don't have to work either. Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like how I learned like my Tagalog is what from like Sesame Street and watching Bugs Bunny.
You mean your English?
My Tagalog in English. Sorry. Actually, there was a Sesame Street version. There was a Filipino version of Sesame Street.
Yeah.
It's called Batibot.
It's called Batibot.
What?
Kiko Maching.
Yes.
And who was the other?
Kuya.
I don't remember. It's been years, but it's basically like you take Sesame Street and you have like bootleg versions, like the Filipino Tagalog versions
Yeah.
of those
Like
characters.
Big Bird is like a big turtle.
Yeah. Yeah. Pong Pagong.
Pongpagong.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then there's like
I
an
dig it.
Original Ninja Turtle.
There's like for real. Oh my gosh, you're right. There's also Kiko Maching was like a take on Oscar the Grouch.
Oscar the Grouch, but he was a monkey.
He was a monkey.
It's a monkey.
Yeah.
Racist.
Which, to be fair, though, like
Which,
Oscar
to
the
be
Grouch was kind of like monkey looking. You know, he had like the unibrow and he kind of
Lived in
big
trash
eyes.
for like 50 years.
Racist.
Racist.
Oscar the Grouch, homeless.
Stupid.
All right, back to that. Oh, sorry, Bob.
Well, we're talking about Filipino cuisine in general, and one of the notes that I proposed to the gentleman here was, you know, it's interesting to me that because I love food, and culinary arts is something that's always intrigued me. So whenever I see you guys like doing your stuff in the kitchen, I'm like, man, that's so cool. And then of course we all love Filipino food, and there's, you know, I was watching Bourdain, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
And he was
R.I.P.
speaking on, he was mentioning something about Chinese food and how we, you know, as Americans, we tend to cheapen the quality and like the vastness of what Chinese food is.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, you can go to like, you know, China and get like a really nice, amazing meal that would well exceed any Michelin star standard, really,
Mhm.
you know?
This is true.
But still Americans view Chinese food as, you know, $2 rice combos and egg rolls and something like that, you know. But go ahead.
Because they haven't gone to China. Like
Oh, yeah,
if you were to
of
look,
course.
like you've had Chinese food in like the Philippines too.
Mhm, mhm.
It's like that banquet style
Mhm.
Chinese chicken,
Mm-hmm.
weird octopus shit going on.
The
and like,
biggest lazy Susan in the
Yes,
world.
dude. The lady.
It's like a roulette. It's literally like,
It's like, oh no.
price
and there's like 30 meals on the
Yeah.
table. And
That's
it's like, what do I
Chinese
eat?
food in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And then Chowking came into the picture, and that kind of like, you know,
Well, I think with like Anthony Bourdain too, he always mentioned it to like even Mexican food and Chinese food. He
Yes.
always like mentioned like, why do we always think of it as like, dude, that's-
It's peasant food to Americans.
right? It's like, oh, it's
essentially.
cheap. Tacos should only be $1. You should get a whole clamshell container of rice noodles and orange chicken for $6, right? And then you go to that country and you order like a traditional meal, and it's all like, why does this look better than the shit I get over there? But it's it's half the price or whatever because of the exchange rate, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
But it still exceeds in flavor, technique, and quality.
do you think this is like an evolution of like what Americans are willing to pay to eat like the actual, like for example, Chinese food? I'm assuming that when Chinese food was just first introduced into like the United States, specifically San
Yeah, they just picked
Francisco.
all the shit. They're like, what's sweet, salty? Like I think.
Yeah, I mean, like it was probably presented as like this is like the traditional way that we have it right here, and Americans are like, no, don't want that, don't want that, don't want that. That's kind of sweet and salty. I'm gonna take that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it kind of like got whittled down to like this version that we have now. So it's kind of like a devolution as opposed to like an evolution.
Well, same thing like how like Mexican food is like viewed, right?
Yeah, you don't get tacos like in Mexico like the ones we have like
Like you do
Taco Bell.
now, just because of like people learning and traveling.
I think it's more so people think Mexican food equals tacos and burritos automatically, nothing else.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas it's just like, that's just literally tip of the iceberg in their
that's
cuisine.
That's street food.
which
Yeah.
is so sad.
I'll
It's
say
just
they
like,
like that's the stuff they get to like right before they run into work. For like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? But over here, we treat it as
the national dish. I'm like,
the
that's not like like in Mexico. They
it's
have
just as complex as like Indian, Chinese. It's like
right.
it's varied by different states and regions.
Right.
Like there's like different ways for like in Mexico they make this thing called cochinita pibil, which is the same thing as like when you make like pork in Hawaii and like lechon in the Philippines and stuff like that.
The technique.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all like wow, that's like a technique that like people you don't see that in menus though. You ask like, hey, can I get cochinita pibil? And you see like a tear form the eyes like, I know what you're talking
I'm
about.
gonna go start digging that hole
I can't
right
do
now.
it, man.
I can't do it.
No way.
Can't do it. Sir, this is Starbucks.
Would you like the egg McMuffin with the impossible sausage patty?
Can you wrap that in tortilla, please?
And then going on John's. Hey, John, you want to introduce your special guest?
Arf, arf.
Arf, arf, woof, woof.
This is bacon.
Bacon.
Hey, Bacon. He's an Australian
Australian.
shepherd.
We can get the corgi out in a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Bring on the
She's
corks.
taking a nap, so.
Oh,
Corgis always take naps.
look at you, Bacon.
Okay.
And then going to John's thing about like, will Filipino food like get to a point where it's like nationally recognized versus oh, hey, you're Filipino. I love adobo lumpia. I'm like, that's the fucking first thing you always get.
I have a hot take on that. No, it won't.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
But Bad Saint, DC.
Here's the thing, because the thing is like it's not because of a negative connotation of like why we're keeping it. Like it's not gonna reach like a national level of like recognition like Chinese food and Mexican food. That's like almost like a cuisine that's always like widely recognized in the country.
Right.
Like if you go to Yelp, there's always like Chinese food,
True.
Mexican food, Thai,
Sure.
Vietnamese, not much Filipino, but like that's in a good way because it kind of like makes it easier for us to like kind of like just have our own originality, like not being what do you call that? Like there's a word for it
What?
when like people come over and like like they take your stuff and then make it like their own and stuff.
Oh,
Gentrification.
yes. Well, no, it's a different word, but it's essentially
Yeah,
that,
yeah, it's kind of like that. So kind of like, like how Chinese food has been like Americanized.
yeah.
Our food will not be Americanized. And we will stand by that. That's why.
I think it's difficult.
The way you said it, I was like,
I think it's
fuck.
difficult to Americanize. It can be done, and it's been done shockingly through things like Sisig, which is very
True.
interesting to me because it's like I think so. I think a lot of it has to do with people like David Chang being on food and cooking shows and like Bourdain, right, and just showing Americans that like these are exotic foods and exotic places. And kind of at least opening the door and cracking it open so they can peek in. And then as the years go by and keep watching these shows, they're like, oh, wait, fried crickets are like, 15 years ago, and like, that's weird. But now it's like, I kind of would try that. I don't know. Who knows? So it's one of those things where it's like kind of planted in our brains slowly. In terms of Filipino food, we use a lot of vinegar. We use a lot of acid. We use a lot of sugars and sweets and things like to balance, and a lot of course, salty things.
soy sauce.
But the cohesiveness and the marriage of all those flavors is what makes it magical. Just like other cuisines like Thai and Japanese and so on and so forth. There's a lot of like acidic things that balance things that are sweet and salty out. But anyways, as far as moving the dial kind of forward, my curiosity is and I love going to a Michelin star restaurant if I ever like have a stable job and can afford it.
100%.
And as a treat, right? It's
He's
like, okay,
Yeah.
let's put some money aside and let's go to like this thing that I've been
Fancy
really
ass
wanting to
dinner,
try.
yeah.
And you get suited up and you do the thing for 6 hours.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic, right? It's an experience. Not everyone has the means or the opportunity or the
But
access
when you
to
can,
that. But when you can,
a
and
whole
it's
day
not
of
for everyone
experience.
either.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say like, hey guys, you should spend $300 on a meal for yourself. Sometimes people are like $300 can go towards this or that, and that's totally fine.
Right.
Again, subjectivity. But within that, I think can Filipino food reach that level? I think yes, but
like how Italian food. There's pizza, and
Yep.
then when somebody goes, "Oh, I went to this Italian restaurant. They made the best handmade pasta. They made
But
the
even
best
even
whatever.
even in a prefix setting, and I've seen some Filipino chefs in restaurants, attempt this, and for the most part, I was like, wow, they translated this pretty well. It's not like a $400 meal and a sit down with a wine pairing,
Right.
but they're getting there, and I respect that and I love it. The flip side of that is, is the wall that we have to break through to get that even more successful and be more common. Filipinos themselves, not Americans.
I see what you mean.
Crab mentality.
Crab. So I'm going to touch on this just a little bit, right? I don't know if it's a Bay Area, like Asian and Filipino thing, or if it's just a cultural thing in general. But like, you've come to our pubs, you helped supported us, and just like hang out,
delicious,
right? It's like
So
we
good.
were honest in the fact that it's like, well, we're at a bar, they got $5 beer and $8 shot specials or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we have some fried chicken wings that taste like sinigang, and we got some rice on the side.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna go well with these shots.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We didn't like set out to be like, hey, here's a cardboard boat with a banana leaf on the bottom and some this and some that,
Always
right?
banana leaf.
And it's always the banana leaf, and then you're always gonna have some chef, the
banana leaf, though.
Philippines.
Always the banana
traditionally,
leaf.
whenever I hear Filipino chefs, especially say, traditionally in the Philippines, when they eat their meals, they have the banana leaf. I'm like,
No.
when you say traditionally, how many fucking years ago when you say tradition?
Interesting. Okay. I know.
You know what I mean?
I can see where you're going with this. Okay. Got
You
it.
know? And it's all like, now it's all like, hey, just because you plated it an indigenous way, I was like, is that going to become as elite as the handmade
Sure.
pasta?
Let me interject.
You know what I
there.
mean?
You
Like-
know what really traditional Filipino flour is? Lacquerware.
When you say lacquerware, you mean like,
White and then this
Mhm.
blue.
With the
trim on it.
weird like patterns on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have that at
Yeah.
the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't no fucking banana leaf.
Yeah, because like
Banana
I,
leaf means like you're in the goddamn forest.
I asked like my dad and all that. They're like, what? When the Spanish came, like how far, how far do you want to? That's what I'm saying. How far do you want to track tradition, at least in Filipino
So I
food?
think
right?
that
Like-
argument is really based more on like authenticity to
Yeah,
other
That's true.
Filipinos.
That's true.
My take on the whole thing is, the inherent cultural cheapness that we have
Yeah.
with things. And you guys know
Oh,
exactly what I'm talking
God.
about. Because, Tita Marissa over there will spend $300 on a fake Chanel bag.
And you know she's
It's not
got
even
something
real.
to say. She has something to
Because I
say.
don't care, it's cheaper.
Mm,
It's not $1,000.
And then when you tell them like how much is his meal, it's gonna be a $300 meal prefix, whatever, 12 course.
Yeah.
$300. You know what she's gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
Say it. I want to hear it.
No. I want you to say what she's gonna.
What's
she
Auntie
can go,
Marissa gonna
we
say?
can go to the buffet, the Chinese buffet
Bam!
for the whole family.
100%.
$300. How many days you wanna go to this
And they have
buffet?
tempura and jello.
Yeah, and then with the crab,
Because they do. It's fucking good.
And that's true. My parents, like, I've seen my dad do like crab legs, like the spare rib, and then watermelon slices on
Yeah.
top of all that. But anyways, to the crab mentality thing too, to tie it in with that. So it's like a Filipino chef, right?
Mhm.
Especially Filipinos ever. Oh my God, there's a famous Filipino chef. He's doing traditional, but a twist,
Yeah.
whatever shit.
Yeah.
Right? They get to the restaurant, they order it. What do they say? Same thing.
Mhm.
They can make, your uncle,
Yep.
Bing
It's
Bing, your Bong Bong, he can make this. It's better.
your auntie Junjun. She changed, right?
That's the other side of the coin I was going
Right.
to bring up is one is the cost for sure, right?
Yeah.
And I get it. Like when you come from a poor third world country and you struggle, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
eat powdered milk with Milo, as a snack,
Eggs and coffee.
which is also really good.
Eggs
by
and
the way.
coffee.
It's one of those things that you bring with you, right? And you try to be thrifty in certain things and splurgy in certain things because you want to feel good and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And the way Filipinos pick and choose is brand name spending,
Oh.
right? And like budget for like I guess kids' clothes and like
More like things that people
Things-
don't see.
true. Yes.
If
That's actually a really
if
good
you
point.
go outside and people can see it,
Yeah.
gotta flex my car, gotta
Yep.
flex my bag.
Mhm.
But inside, man, we're eating ramen.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Filipinos have been in front, dude. We
We I think Filipinos, I'm not speaking for everyone, but many that I've seen, I've been a part of it too at a point in time.
Yeah,
Right. We have
sure.
the black belt in fronting.
Yeah.
so
right?
much.
Like like, oh, what? Like, especially, oh God, I'm getting not slightly heated, right? So now that
It's fine.
right, like now that we're podcasting and like we're airing it,
Flex.
once my family got wind of like us doing this, right? Hey, your cousin Francis, he's podcasting. He's on YouTube. You want to watch? Let's watch. And then they put it on in the middle of a fucking family dinner. Everyone's over.
That's
and
so
they're like,
weird.
what are you doing?
It's so
look,
weird.
my son is on YouTube. Right? And then you're like in the back in the living room.
Yeah.
Fuck. What the fuck is going
Yeah.
right?
I hope an ad pops up soon.
It's the very they pick and choose when they claim Filipinos.
Right? And then it goes to the whole like, hold on, you were just ashamed of me for doing some shit
Yeah.
like this because it makes
Oh.
I'm not an engineer doing this or a nurse, and it's like and then it's the whole picking one to front, and it's so
y'all never
weird.
seen like Filipinos watch like American Idol, right?
Oh, 100
If there's
please.
like a single contestant in it that's
Yeah.
like I'm mixed Filipino, blah blah blah. They're
Boom,
like
100%.
Yeah.
I told
That's
my
our
parents
guy.
LeBron James was half Filipino when he was on the Heat because of Eric Spoelstra. He's like he's like half Filipino,
Yeah, everybody
right?
starts flexing.
My parents would or family party. I'm like, hey, you know LeBron James is quarter Filipino, right? Oh, like fucking freak the fuck
and
out.
that word spreads on to like every.
But you know,
uncle out there.
my favorite thing to do.
Oh,
my favorite
please.
thing to do is to do the opposite of that. When they're like, oh, well, you know, the guy who killed Versace
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
killed that. I mean, he's wearing the bag right now. Filipino killed him.
Yeah.
You know, and then
Slobber.
same thing with. Did you see the footage of the Olympic divers, the Filipino Olympic divers, and they
the
just
best. Just
flop.
Oh, the belly flop one.
they didn't even. It wasn't a belly flop. They meant to land like those clean. Pew, right? They went. Pow.
Was this recent?
This is
Oh,
like
it's
2
like-
years ago
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
been a
Oh no!
It was like
Actually,
a
yeah,
qualifying
I saw that one.
I love
I
watching that.
laughed so hard.
I mean, like,
Because you had that intention of like, this motherfucker's
Yeah.
gonna win a gold. Oh no!
but here's the thing, though. That's how we do it in the Philippines.
Red belly.
Jump off the bridge. Jump off the bridge into like the
my
the
God.
river.
Yeah, he still had his slippers on.
Oh my god.
What are you doing, man? Take that off, dog.
Is that guy wearing a bahag? It's loincloth in English. Loincloth.
Right here at the bottom, folks.
Fundoshi in Japanese. Sumo swear.
But it's such a weird thing. Food, material shit, and and especially with the food thing, because every time someone comes up to you and they know you're Filipino, it's always like a food association thing.
I like lumpia.
Right. Like I like
Which
lumpia,
actually, honestly,
like-
doesn't bother me. You know.
It doesn't. I don't hate it, but it also like always kind of weirds me out. Like I don't know what to say after. Oh,
Just say,
I like
hate
ice cream.
Yeah, it's like, who eats that? It's gross. And just really like confuse them.
or even it's like, only poor people eat that, right? It's like, oh.
okay. Here's the scenario. Hey, Francis, you come from those monkey people. The
Wow. Straight up? Sir, this is the DMV.
Oh my god.
That's very cold. That's a very deep cut joke.
DMV.
That's a very deep cut joke.
Sir, this is a DMV. My name's not Francis. It's Monkey Man.
Oh my god.
Smoky Man Bonifacio.
Don't say that, man. Bonifacio is one of the heroes.
It's a good name, actually.
Bonifacio, Rizal,
Yeah.
Lapu Lapu, Mendoza.
I bet you know
Dude, I
something.
haven't had lapu lapu in years. Is that something we can even get?
Isn't that like just
Is it even good, by the
it's
way?
red snapper?
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's red snapper with it's a little pale red snapper actually.
Yeah. You just fry it up, babe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Fry
That's
it up,
fry it
throw it
up.
in there, put it in the sweet and sour with the pineapple.
Pineapple.
Oh my god.
Pineapple.
The bell pepper.
In terms of, because like I think it's so funny how we've like tried to tie in all this like Filipino
connected, man.
cultural stuff,
all
and then it just boils down to like we boil it down to like food,
Well,
right?
It's our love language.
Well, that exactly. It's like you can see right now. It's like how we're doing this right now. We did it with like by eating first
Yeah.
because it's kind of like
We talked about coffee for like
I was hungry.
we talked about like coffee for 2 minutes.
we talked about the specializations and like, well, that's done in 5 minutes. Okay, what you got for food now? I mean, it's kind of like already in like the narrative of like how Filipinos greet each other.
Oh my
Like
god.
they'll say like, "Oh my word."
Yeah, it's our. I mean, that's. You know what? Even outside the Filipino thing, I love to eat. I love food.
Like old school Filipinos, when you got like guests come over, it's like, "Oh, did you eat yet?" Did you
Yeah,
eat
that's
yet?
the classic.
Do you want to eat something? Are you hungry?
But they also like feed you.
Oh, thank you.
But then again, they'll be like, "You're so thin. Go eat something." When they
Yeah.
look at you, they're like, "You don't need to eat."
it's
But then they also like, well, you gain weight.
I'm sorry. No. You know, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. They'll give you something to eat and like, just a little bit, huh? No. They'll give you the whole. They'll give you the whole leche flan, and then they'll look at you like, "How much are you gonna take?"
it's like test.
A little bit, huh? And you're like just doing the, oh my god, you cut it for me. And they're like,
The best part is when you go to like that whole Filipino like coming over for dinner thing, they always want to like the mom or dad will always try to check you. Does your mom know how to make this? Huh?
oh my gosh.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Have you gone into that? Does your dad know how to make this? Your mom know how to make this? Oh, well, I don't eat it too
You
much
know-
because the
You know the funniest thing too? It's like if your folks go to like a party that's Filipino, but that Filipino family decides to like Western it up and just have like hors d'oeuvres and appetizers and tea sandwiches and everything.
what?
Tea
then-
sandwiches.
You know, I know dad
No.
tea sandwiches.
They show up, your folks show up to the party and they're expecting like, oh, they didn't give me the plate yet. What's going on here? What's that? Appetizer?
Appetizer.
Nachos? That's a food? We're leaving.
Go start, daddy. Go start the car.
No. Dad will like take the keys like here.
What do we have, by the way?
Oh, so this is Firestone Walker's Old Manhattan, which is it's like a beer
Cask.
based on an actual cocktail, which is interesting.
You put it like in a cask kind of thing.
I don't know what their process is, but they're in Paso
you could-
Robles. We're gonna discuss
Ooh.
that name in a second.
Ooh.
Guess who? Guy was just down there.
Me. I was just down there. Ooh. What
Whoa.
the
It's not bad, right?
fuck?
This is
It
the
translates like the orange and the.
that orange. It's that. Whoa, that's very complex.
You ever do one of these?
Very complex.
Mommy, this beer tastes
Yeah.
like cocktail.
Paso Robles.
Paso
I was
Robles.
so they have a beer festival once a year, which they had to postpone because of pandemic, unfortunately. So, anyways, we were down there for the festival. It was great, and we did some wine tasting locally, and then ate at the restaurant locally. And they kept saying, "Yeah, Paso Robles is a great city," and da da da. And
Who said that?
the locals?
Paso Robles?
That's how they pronounce it, bro.
No.
No.
I'm dead serious. Because the whole time I'm like Robles. It's a fucking
You're like
Spanish word.
you're like sweating. Like, did he just say Robles?
Sweating from my eye because I was like, why are you saying it that way?
It's like Fruity Pebbles.
We're playing tennis. We're doing dobles.
Paso Robles? That's how they say it?
dude. Yes. And I was confused. At first I thought they were fucking with me. And then it kept happening.
I thought like
kept
from,
happening.
from a different perspective. Like you had to like go outside and do one of this. You, where am I? And then like Paso Robles. It's like fuck.
Yeah.
Who's
It's
president?
weird.
Who's the
It's
president?
weird. And if I'm wrong, then we can edit this out.
Paso Robles. I kind of want to say it just because like if you read it just to be like funny and you're like like a ha-ha thing, I would definitely read it like that. But to actually call it that, that's
It's like almost like an SF native like telling somebody like, yeah, here in San Fran, or like nobody said-
Frisco?
oh God, ugh, it's like nails on my ear. I'm not even from around here, but when you say Frisco,
I feel like Frisco's been accepted by certain locals though.
what I
it's
cannot
like-
Which is
accept-
weird.
Yeah,
But-
I know what you mean.
But I'm also a transplant, so I have no place in like that whole.
Yeah, I absolutely have no place in any of this, but to me, it's like almost like you just put a nail into my eye. That's how much it hurts. But when people say like Cali,
That's the worst. I hate when people. I don't know who brings up these stupid
I go
like.
I go over to Jersey and it's like, hey man, how's Cali? I'm like,
You say Colombia?
I don't know. It's so weird to
And
me
then
how like
more confused.
Colo.
Yeah.
like no one.
This Paso Robles is sorry.
Paso Robles.
Paso
I'm
Robles.
still saying Robles. I don't really give a shit.
Paso Robles. Is that in the, towards
Like you're going to Solvang.
Yeah.
Solvang?
It's Solvang's Paso
Solvang's
Robles.
adorable, by the way.
Babe,
I
we
was
just talked about like.
Dude.
Shout out to Tanya. Thanks a lot, babe.
You know those little like pancakes that they make? The Danish?
Yes.
Is it Danish?
No. Yeah. Okay. So all their bake shops make.
Evil's
Able skiver.
Evil skeevers.
Able skiver. You like the able skiver?
Yeah.
You pronounce it pancakes.
Evil Scable.
It's like, yeah, I want a Danish. It's like, oh, okay. You want the kringle. It's so,
Yeah,
like,
it's Kringle.
so kringle over there is like, dude, I asked like for a Danish and they gave us like a fucking like
A frisbee.
plate
A frisbee
of like,
size.
what? How do you eat this? It's like, wait your mouth.
You want some milk way? Because there's a lot of lambs folks working down there too, Abe.
That's true. This is true. This is true. There's a lot of ostriches too. We went to ostrich land.
You ride it.
We can't ride it.
You can.
You can't.
There's some. Oh no, llamas. I always mix up llama and ostrich. Is that weird?
God, what are you like? What is this? Final Fantasy? You get to ride an ostrich? Emu, maybe. You
Oh,
can ride.
emu.
You can't.
I always
you
mix up
still
emu
can't
and ostrich.
ride those.
That wait, I thought you were gonna say llama and emu.
No, emu
No,
and ostrich.
no.
Sorry, I don't know where I mixed up llama.
He still thinks you can ride an emu.
Yeah,
Emu will kick your
I
ass.
can't ride an emu.
You can't
They're gonna
ride
be
a
like, how
llama
many-
either.
That's me, man.
I'm sorry. I'm so
I gotta
fucking
find
mean. I'm
you
so
said there's gotta
goddamn
be a
mean
fat
today.
animal for any animal I want to ride. There's gotta be like a fat version. Like you're not gonna see a fat horse.
Clydesdale.
That's just a big horse.
It's big and fat.
It's huge. It's like a monster truck.
Speaking of Clydesdale, what's your take on Carlsberg?
What?
You ever had Carlsberg? The beer?
Yeah.
I think
I thought you meant
once.
the cheese.
So in the Philippines, like they always like try to sell that like there's a commercial in the Philippines that's like Carlsberg, probably the best beer in the world.
I don't remember that one.
It's from the 80s, and in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, one of these days I'm gonna try that beer. Tried it here. I tried it here. I didn't
Tastes
try
like
it in
shit.
the Philippines.
Tastes like garbage.
I was like, it's probably not the best beer in the world.
Is San Miguel different flavor wise here than the Philippines?
Yes, and yes,
Okay.
because I think it's the bottling.
Because I tried it here and I was like, why does this taste like fucking rusty band-aids?
Yeah, it's kind of like.
Damn it. I feel like people have said that for Asian
I was
beers.
more like rusty bottle cap.
something
But it's
rusty.
definitely rust.
Yeah.
Definitely like
Yes.
yeah.
Metallic.
There's like a
Yeah. Like an old ass penny,
Fuck.
Yes.
basically.
Fuck. Oh no, I cannot.
Yeah.
Do you-
One
do you-
day.
Do you drink like Filipino beers?
No. They're too expensive. Exporting wise, they cost a lot.
What happened to Sarsi, by the way? I don't see it anymore.
Sarsi is
I see
a
Royal
soda
One.
brand in the
Yeah,
Philippines, and
alright.
it's like kind of like a Pepsi, but even
Like
better.
Ritz. Like a root
it's
beerish
root beer.
Pepsi.
Whereas, okay, Sarsi is basically like
We have gone all
slang or short for sarsaparilla.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know?
Sarsaparilla.
Balls have been blown off right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sarsaparilla.
Sarsaparilla.
My balls just
It's
got
good.
Oh, you
it's
know
like,
what?
It's like
I-
our Dr. Pepper.
I do remember that flavor because I remember the bottle was even different. It was kind of like octagonal. It was angular, like the bottle cut was like angular.
Yeah, it's like kind of ridged, like straight,
Yes.
and then it fluted to.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was amazing. And then
Yeah.
Coke took over,
Uh-huh.
like they do all over the world, and that brand was gone.
Like the OG Dr. Pepper original 23 or whatever the fuck, right?
True. Or an RC Cola.
Or RC Cola.
That's a huge Filipino thing.
I don't know.
I'm
About
I
saying-
liked it. Look at
I
this-
like
look at
Royal.
that asshole
You
cat.
like Royal True Orange?
Yeah, Royal. True TRU.
Is he eating this stuff?
I don't know. Stupid
Smells that
cat.
Sisig.
The food's up here, bro.
She's
Don't worry
doing
about it.
Anyways.
You ever had Royal True Orange?
Yeah, love it.
Yeah,
It's
it's great.
favorite.
Love it.
Yeah, you know, it's good in a plastic bag and a straw, though.
Love it. Yeah.
That's OG right there.
OG way of drinking sodas in the Philippines is basically
I feel like we have. Like,
I think
you
that's all other countries.
I think- yeah, I'm
not
about to say, like-
America. Yeah, because I think
You do
they
that in
do it
Mexico?
in other
Yeah.
countries. Like
Southeast Asia's
Yeah,
like
Southeast Asia.
everywhere in Southeast Asia is
Yeah.
like that. I think Mexico too. Certain.
Yeah.
Because you
So
have to
close.
return. Do they still do the whole return glass?
I think so.
yes. That's
So-
why they can't give you the bottle, and it's also a weapon.
Oh, I didn't think about the weapon part.
Okay, hold on. Just because
6-year-old kids are like, I can't take this
So,
shit because it's gonna
it-
turn
just
into
because,
shit.
Damn, where did you live,
I
bro?
think it's funny because we had notes, just how John mentioned, like in the beginning of recording,
I'm from
we
the
kind of
South.
had like notes going in, but then we also, dude, shh, that's Southern,
Dirty South.
dirty South of the Philippines.
Yeah, I'm from Mindanao, bro. For real.
But anyways, as John was like, how we had like notes for topics, and we just kind of just said fuck it, just for that now.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, you
Right?
know, it's like,
Why do I feel like all South, especially Filipinos and just maybe foreigners, Southeast Asians, whatever,
Violent.
right? Like everything is always turned into like how you said glass bomb the weapons. I was like, yeah, like why the fuck
Yeah, man. I mean,
is that for real? Like
Is
how you
there-
said that? Like
is there a correlation with the hemisphere going this way that people get more pissed off?
and
more,
everything becomes
more
a
like
weapon?
protective or something? Because there's this
Is there a
huge
phenomenon?
You know what?
I don't know. Like I haven't traveled enough.
Might have been like a social divide, I guess, among the people in the
I
South.
love how
Like
intellectual
are
we'll
South
get,
Pole
but we-
people just like shanking North Pole people, and North Pole are like, oh my
with,
god.
with bottles.
That's why Canadians are just like,
like the whole thing. Like I don't know. I feel like our knowledge is worth based is just like is that for
Hold-
real? Just like I don't know. I guess.
Hold up. Let me ask John. Have you ever had neighbors in the Philippines that had walls?
And they put glass on the top.
They put glass on top.
wait, walls?
Like
Like-
cement walls, you know, to divide the house from like wherever you live.
And then glass on the top?
There's glass on the top, like broken glass.
No, I don't remember that.
We have that in the South. That's why.
Interesting.
No, people who had money had that.
Oh, I guess we got money. That well, actually,
You could cut. Bitch, you just said when our maid would prepare our breakfast.
they were just intelligent. Okay, my yaya was intelligent.
Yeah, means.
Maid.
There you go.
Did your maid have a maid? You were that rich?
I refuse to answer that question.
Did you have hot water readily available?
I
Oh.
refuse to. Oh,
Ah.
hot take? No, we didn't.
Okay, wait.
Oh, okay.
Did your toilet flush like this?
Whoa. Or did you pull the handle?
No, it's like this.
Oh, he's rich. Did you have a shower or a tabo?
It was both.
What? Did you put it to the fucking
Poke holes in
All right,
It's
guys,
a shower.
folks. For the people who are not indoctrinated in what we're talking about, in the Philippines, there's a very like division of wealth is very clear,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You know what's funny? We talked about this at work too.
Did you?
Because we had to explain to someone because they heard us say like, "What's a tabo?" And then you and I just went,
Well,
you're on lunch, right?"
Yeah. So it basically, people of like well beyond of means, right? Because the middle class is pretty decent up there, but it's still like you can be middle class and not have a shower with hot water readily
True.
available.
still have a dirty
You can-
kitchen.
Yeah, you can be middle class with a driver, someone who does your laundry, 2 maids to take care of the kids,
Oh,
and
crazy.
still not have a flushing toilet.
This is true. This
Yeah,
is
that's
true.
a thing, and that's just our normal, right? But when you go to a house and they have all of those things, you're just like, wow, what do you guys do? Are you a celebrity? Are you a president?
Exactly.
Is your dad work with the
push
president?
button stuff, push
Yeah.
button stuff like flushable toilets and like that. Well, okay. In our old house, we had the balde and the
Okay.
tabo.
Walk us through the Mendoza household. Go for it.
Here's how bougie, here's how cushy I was. For mornings, our maids would boil water and throw it inside the
Oh, that's normal.
yeah.
No, that's normal.
Because like I don't want to take a
Yeah,
bath
no,
with like
that's we're not
cold water.
savages. Almost savages.
But like on days where I'm like, man, I'm running late. Woof.
Yeah.
That's when your heart stops when you're like, I gotta take this cold ass bath.
Yep. Yep.
You're like, ah.
Yep.
But yeah, so we didn't we had a shower installed, I think, later on in my teens.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Later on in my teens.
Yeah.
Gas stove, electric.
Both.
I don't remember actually.
It was gas because we, you know what, we used to have like
hold on. Did you have outside kitchen and inside
yes,
kitchen?
the outside kitchen is called
Ooh.
dirty kitchen,
Yeah.
and then the inside kitchen is more
Some people had that though.
Yeah.
That wasn't like that.
No, but I know like for sure that's like a Filipino thing.
because there's no ventilation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
dude.
Which is great because when you cook, especially when you're frying things.
yeah.
Yeah, you
you
don't-
don't actually find
House
Yeah.
smelling like delice and shit.
Did your house ever have the big ass walk?
My parent, like at least on my dad's side and my mom's side that I know, like they came from just like that. In the eyes of an angel, that type of Filipino.
Oh, so they had like banana leaves for plates. and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, that kind. They're the kinds that this is like I don't want to say in the norms of social class living and economic living in the Philippines, right?
They had
When we were
shoes.
younger, we would get mail. Like I said, we would get mail, right? Outlines of feet, and I'd ask my uncle and my dad, "What the hell is that?
for shoes.
Who's thing?" And my dad's like, "What do you think? It's for the shoes." I'm like, "Huh?" And my dad's all like, "Put your foot here and put your foot there. Is that the same size? No. then that's what size we're not gonna buy. And I was like, oh,
Just measure it, bro.
right.
Yeah.
But hey,
I know. I did that too. I had to do.
I'm giving you like, so this is like Flags of Our Fathers. You're right. On Flags of Our Fathers. What's the Japanese variant one?
Something Okinawa, whatever.
Something Hiroshima. You're like the
Yeah.
Japanese side,
Yeah.
right? So it's all like, for us, we had all the luxuries that were seen like this, right?
Yeah.
Because we're now like my parents defected to this side, and now we're seen as that like the richy rich family. Like, nah, man, we got one car. We all pile in there still.
Yeah.
Still.
We're sharing the one Happy Meal with two people.
Not gonna lie, I think there's still like Mitsubishi something, Tamarao, Toyota Tamarao.
Oh, we had a Tamaro.
We had a
Yeah.
we still have a Tamarao
Man.
at like
I love that.
It look okay. Do you know what a Tamarao looks like?
No.
It's like a Jeep van.
It's like a Jeep van.
A what?
It's a
If
Jeep
it's like
van.
Is
a
it
Jeep
Toyota
and a
Mitsu
van
what?
and they fucked.
Yeah. So it's like a Jeep in the front, van in the back.
It's like the mullet of cars, basically.
Pull it up.
But it's like I'm not gonna pull it up, dude. It's like you just have to imagine this one.
No, I'm gonna pull it up.
Now I gotta pull it up.
It's
You're
yeah.
probably gonna look up the Tamaro Animal, which is like a fucking car about with. Like
What's it called? It's a Mitsubishi.
I just look up a Tamaro.
How do you spell that, babe?
Dude, here you go.
Mitsubishi?
Wait,
pull
why
it
does it
up?
look so modern?
Come on, it's 2021.
Oh, that's hella modern.
Right?
Whoa, that's a good looking Tamaro.
Right? We're not showing it.
I think we're like.
We're not showing you.
I think we had
Something like that.
Something like that. The white one.
Yeah.
We had the white one. We
It's
had
like
the
a
white
it's like a fucked up Bronco.
one. Dude.
It's literally what you saying. It's so like boxy.
But I feel like ours was more like this, where you can like it felt like a Jeep thing.
You can sit side by side, like
It
on the
felt like-
sides. You're facing each other.
It felt like what
Y'all had
they.
them Safari vans.
It
bro.
felt like what they pick up like money, in like those armored cars. That's what it reminded me of, because
Yes.
it was benches. It wasn't chairs
Yes.
facing forward.
And
So-
when you would get out of it, you felt like you were like part of like the SWAT team or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, everybody out.
so that
Jumping
level.
out.
It's like
So-
metal chairs.
Yeah.
So that level of like, I guess, income and living. What's the American equivalent?
There isn't one.
The F of F.
No, not
Oh,
like
for the-
cars, just like lifestyle.
Yeah, there isn't one.
No.
Because, like I said, you could be middle class and still have all those helpers,
Uh-huh.
but you're still not wealthy, because the wealthy is
Yeah.
literally like 0.2% of the population.
when I saw when my parents told me this is what like rich in the Philippines, right? I was like, dang.
Yeah.
But then when you describe middle class, like to me, and I feel like that's still pretty fucking.
Yeah, no, that's for real. Yeah.
Like middle class, you had hot dogs and eggs for breakfast.
I've had that.
Yeah.
When you're
The red
poor,
one.
it's like Vienna sausage all year long.
Vienna sausage or oh my god. What's that? Dying?
Top three
Dying?
top three breakfasts when you were back in the Philippines.
This wasn't breakfast. I actually mentioned this.
Top three meals.
It wasn't
Growing
that.
up
It was just baon.
Oh,
Where-
top three baon.
Ooh, that's a good one. Top three baon.
Top three baon.
Right. So
I
I
have
had
to
it was
get to the mic like this close.
it was a
Okay.
hot dog that you're
Split.
would split down the middle.
Yes, yes.
Open it up like this.
Okay.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right? Not like this.
Okay. Yes. Like this.
Like this. And then it would put it on the whitest white bread ever.
Okay.
That would just disintegrate. And then Lady's Choice mayonnaise.
Yes!
This guy-
Ding, ding, ding.
And then you eat it
And it
during
just
lunch and it just
slides
stops
up.
in your roof of
Oh.
your mouth and you're like,
You're like that. You're like,
the whole time.
you're like,
The whole time, dude.
go, because like that, like, it's pretty much like the combination of hot dog, Lady's Choice, and the whitest bread ever.
Yeah.
Cream bread. I think it's called cream bread.
Oh, what's it called?
It's
I
called
don't
cream
remember.
bread. Yeah. OG cream bread.
That's our Wonder Bread.
It's pretty much like paper mache. Dude.
Yeah.
You can bite into it. Just
And then you had a thermos of Tang juice.
yes.
Tang's very big in the
Tang's
Philippines,
huge.
right?
It's very- there's a
Everything was powdered.
I believe there's a
Liquefied.
rival group called 8 O'Clock. It's called 8 O'Clock Juice or something like that.
Mhm.
They say it's a little sweeter. but
Interesting.
I'm all about that tang.
I don't know, man. I'm OG with that stuff.
I think
I'm older.
I want to buy Tang just to taste it again.
Dude, we should make a Tang cocktail.
Yeah. They
That'd
call it
be-
putang inamo.
It'd be gross.
You know what's funny?
Your mother's Tang.
guys.
It's literally put tang in a bowl or something like that.
Yeah, with boobs.
Yes.
Like
It's-
like an Aunt Jemima, but like
Dizon had an idea of like Dizon had that idea too. Like we should. He's like, what if we did like a pop up and had a cocktail called Tangin Mo, right? And I was like, how, like, what would you make? He's like, Tangin, like, I don't know, Hennessy. And I was like, oh,
Yeah, he would
fuck.
call it that way.
I was like, all right, I'll try it once.
You should, yeah.
You got 2 more ballons.
Oh shit.
It's only Monday, and you already had the hot dog.
Leftover Filipino spaghetti.
Yes.
Of course.
Let's to the people
And
get
don't-
Even when it's cold, it's delicious.
And
To the
it's-
people who
and it
don't
stains
know.
your Tupperware.
to the non-Filipino
Okay,
folks.
non-Filipinos, we use ketchup, banana ketchup,
There you go, folks. The
which
secret's
my
out.
white girlfriend absolutely hates
Your friend.
because she's Italian. So she's like,
Oh, don't even mention it to her.
Why
Like,
would you even?
hey,
That's
no.
like something I
Because
buried.
you know what's crazy? She loves Filipino food. She loves Bicol Express. She loves all the crazy stuff. She loves okoy. And then as soon as I mentioned spaghetti, she's like, "Get that shit away from
Hey,
me.
get that-
I'm Italian."
I'm a fucking
Yeah.
Mussolini.
And I
ass.
get it. I understand. I totally get it. It's weird. It's weird, but it's delicious to
I
me.
want to know the history behind
it
that.
harkens to your childhood, man.
She does like kare kare though, because she does love peanut butter. So it's kind of.
I want to. I think I'm gonna do a deep dive on the history of Filipino spaghetti.
There's gotta be, yeah, that would be really interesting.
That's like I want to do a short
little
doc
TED talk
for real. Have that little
Or do it. Oh, what are those like those Ted Burns or something like Ed Burns?
Ted Burns. That sounds like a person.
No, who's the one that does like all those documentaries for the History Channel? Like in the 1800s.
David Attenborough?
No, that's a guy, British guy. He does fat animals. But
How
anyway,
we find the Filipino spaghetti and the origins of them in the
they
country.
seem to
Oh my
make
God.
ketchup out of bananas.
The
Monkey
famed
teeth.
label Jufren is rival from the UFC number 9
I don't
bottle.
know if I have a third ballon. I think I just don't remember. To be
Did
honest.
you buy snacks?
Francis, right now, so
outside
you.
of school.
I'm gonna let you know right
Yeah.
now.
And
Francis,
spiders.
how
We
how
gotta talk
are
about
you
this.
fooling-
He doesn't know about this. I don't think.
It just flew by you.
No, what?
Spiders.
Explain. I'm
Okay.
born here.
So, when you when you get out of school, right? You're happy. You go to the vendors outside the school. They're lined up, right?
Lined up.
It's like Yes.
Emporium. It's an emporium of
there's like
random
little
shit.
firecrackers you can buy. Definitely sipa, like you know.
Yeah,
little-
yeah,
little-
takyan.
Yeah, little toys, some jacks, things like that.
Yeah.
Just random things. Rubber bands for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's for Chinese garter.
Ah, that's right. And spiders,
When you say spiders,
like actual living spiders, and they had them. Picture like a jeweler box where it's like little compartments, right? And
Uh-huh.
they slide
Matchboxes.
the plastic, and there's a bunch of small compartments that house these different spiders. Some are red,
That's
some are
kinda
like
scary.
big, some
Deadly
small.
spiders.
why?
They weren't poisonous.
No, but they are hungry.
Yeah, so they'll bite you.
Yeah.
Ow.
So the idea, because you know, like when you're
You're a
a
kid.
little boy and you're just like, yo, whatever, I want to play with things, and it was enthralling to watch. Filipinos love watching cockfighting, right?
True.
But this is basically cockfighting with spiders.
This is the original Pokemon.
No, seriously, it's kind of crazy. So
I call you Big Spider, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, fuck,
So
you're
what'll
Big
happen
Spider.
is, right? Me and Francis would be playing in school.
All right,
during
there's
lunch,
sticks.
Okay,
and
hold on,
we're
just
like, you know what?
give me-
My
set this-
spider will, you know.
Set the scene. Set the scene. Set the scene. Go
Like,
for it.
Yo, John, I heard you got like this red spider today.
I got the big black one, man.
Oh my god! All right, let's throw it down right now, man. Yo, Junjun, get the stick.
Yeah. So there's a barbecue stick, right?
Barbecue
Like a
stick.
skewer. Sorry, skewer. We call it barbecue stick.
Skewer,
When you said barbecue, you said human say skewer. Okay. Like,
like a
Because the way spiders fight, you can't just be like, all right, go after each other. Because
No.
if there's just the ground,
They'll
they'll
just
just
go.
they're just like,
Yeah.
well, later, dude.
they're fucking spiders,
Right?
yeah.
But if they're on a thread or a bead or like a
They have
pole,
one way.
Yeah.
they can't go anywhere and they have to meet and do this.
Yes.
Oh.
And
Dude.
what's crazy, right? So his spider crawls, my spider crawls. Sometimes they're like, fuck this, I don't want any part of it.
And they'll
The
look
other
for
one will go, get the fuck back over here.
Yeah.
With the
And the
web?
other spider's like, oh
Yeah,
shit.
dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then sometimes they'll drop down and fight in midair, and we're just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That guy
yeah.
gotta have a steady hand right there, man.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
And
god.
not always, but usually one spider will die because the
Yes.
other spider will eat it.
When you know you've lost when the other spider's like
Dead.
rapping.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you
Rapid
only
like
lost
that.
like 2 pesos. Who cares? You know.
that's
whatever.
so cool.
It sounds brutal. Sorry, vegans. Sorry, like animal lovers.
Whatever. It's a spider, man.
But it's a
Wow.
spider.
What would
Most
they
of y'all-
call,
most of
what
y'all
would they
won't
call
find
that
anyways.
vendor?
Spider Man.
Oh. Peter Parker.
Spider.
Peter Parker.
Peter Parker. Kuya Pete.
Pedro Parker.
Oy.
Pedro Parker.
We got some guys just like, going, like
Uncle Ben.
Uncle. Peter Farker and Tito Ben.
Oh my
See, that's the
God.
thing. That's the thing too. Like, when you go to school for your baon means like
It's
It's like
packed
snack,
lunch. Sack
right?
lunch.
a packed snack
Yeah.
lunch.
You know what I grew
It's
up
a lunch in a lunch box.
Packed food. There you go.
Yeah, packed food.
Yeah,
Loosely,
in,
right?
in a metal tin lunchbox.
Yes.
which had Batman or Spider-Man.
Sometimes I had the
or whatever.
Tupperware.
I had Tupperware.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, when you put like spaghetti or anything that had tomato sauce in it and that Tupperware, that shit's gotta be
Throw it away.
Yeah.
stained.
Especially
for
when you
life.
forget, because I used to just like slide my shit. Right, because I was like, yeah, lunchbox, and you like do one of these like you're curling,
Yeah.
but aggressively, and it just slides and it hits the wall, and you're like, yeah, and then you realize like, fuck, there was
Oh,
spaghetti in
no.
there, or there was sabao in that, and you're just like everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah, I've
And then your mom would get mad because you
I've-
broke the Tupperware.
had my share of that one. Now you get to use like the fucking like margarine container or something.
Yeah, which is always greasy and weird. And
Yeah, you can never get the grease out of like imagine like a crock pot.
Oh.
I
yeah.
can't believe it's not butter or horse.
Oh
shit,
yeah, and
whatever.
it's just you see it just dew up on
it's
the
just there.
sides.
It's
Yeah.
just there.
I never the equivalent. I think I've only had I've had that style right of lunch growing up like once or twice up until I got made fun of, and I was like, I can't, Mom, Dad, you can't do it. I love it. I know I do. You know I love it. Kids at school, I don't want to be that guy. They're like, fine, we'll buy white bread.
Oh, they
and-
listen to you.
partly.
He's Amboy.
My God.
Oh, yo, you want to touch on Amboy?
I barely know. I know what it is, but it's like the way I grew up was very like.
There's a Kanye song, right? American Boy.
Amboy? Yeah.
Oh shit, we got what, like 10-ish minutes.
Yeah, man.
The way I grew up, like in terms of just, in a nutshell, 90s, right? My sister and then my little brother was born in mid 90s, so he got like he's in the generation of like convenience purely. I think 90s generation,
Original convenience.
like
Pretty
I
much.
think yeah,
That's
like
amazing.
Costco.
like
Yeah,
I think
that's true.
90s, like from what someone told me is like I'm the generation of like seeing the transition from that and being part of the transition.
From banana leaf to banana sundae.
But
whatever.
banana leaf to that paper plate,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dixie's.
Dixie's.
Whatever.
yeah, the non-absorbent Dixie, right? So like I guess on that part, and the bottom lunch thing, I've had the Vienna sausage and noodles, right, in a thermos,
Okay.
Yeah.
right, and you open it, someone goes, "What the fuck?" Right? I can only imagine that's what kids are thinking in their head, and then I'm like,
You
"Fuck."
put the Vienna sausage in a thermos?
I think so.
The soup, son.
This is
It wasn't
really,
no goddamn stir fry.
This is really interesting. So you spent the most time in the Philippines and emigrated latest in life,
Yes.
and I'm kind of like a little bit less, and then you were
Straight
Yes.
up.
straight up here.
Yes.
So this is like a whole round table
Pretty
of
much.
experiences.
Pretty much.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you're
With-
like I'm the perspective of being here.
Yeah.
You got to give me the perspective of being over there.
I'm like old Steve Rogers, and
I'm Black
you're
Falcon.
Current Captain America. You're like the first.
Bucky.
No, I'm the first Avenger.
He's U.S. agent.
Yeah.
God.
Then we are
fine.
just destroying you. I'm so sorry.
Barely enhanced.
I'm so sorry, Black Star.
Wait, but what's interesting to me though is you grew up with the Baon experience. You know, by the time that I moved here and went to school here, that didn't really happen too much. I think because you know my
Assimilated quick.
parents. Well, my parents found out like, oh, you can just get those like meal tickets for lunch, where they buy a pack of it and you get like these little tickets. And
Yeah.
you go to lunch and you like it could be, you know, sloppy Joe day or like pizza or whatever.
Never had that.
So that was LAUSD. That was the thing.
I had that option, but my parents is like, I just cooked 3 packs of this ramen. What the a quarter of it's gonna go to you,
Yeah, no, she didn't have time. She's working.
right?
Here's how my Bound situation worked out. Whatever was for breakfast,
Yeah,
that's your Bound.
yeah.
So I'd be eating lunch with corned beef and eggs and fried
100%.
rice. I'm like,
Bro, see, that's the thing. If I was gonna go back to the past and tell myself like, trust me, you got the best lunch here.
corned beef and eggs, man.
Yeah.
Shh, just go eat it over there, though.
But you don't know that, you know,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're getting made fun of, and it smells up what the cafeteria, whatever.
Well,
wherever
yeah,
you're
because it's
eating.
like when you grow up in the States, when they depict other countries, they
Yeah.
depict them so, like, if you're going to watch, like, 90s videos on education or whatever, currently you'd be like, that's how I learned.
Mhm.
And it's so
It's just different.
outdated.
It's a different time.
You know what I mean? It's such a
Yeah.
different time now.
By the way, guava jelly and peanut butter. hitter.
Ooh.
Who did you?
Yeah.
When?
So because like we didn't have
Is that a baon of yours?
Yeah, we didn't have any grape jelly.
You
So
had peanut butter?
we had peanut butter.
Was it sweetened?
Dude, there's
Of course
Filipino peanut butter, man.
Is it good?
How do you
Oh, it's
make
amazing.
kare-kare?
Okay.
How do you make kare-kare without Filipino peanut butter?
I imagine your grandma sitting on that,
Smashing that peanut.
I used to
No.
eat it out of the jar.
Yeah, and they had like the layer of
Yeah.
See, that's the OG peanut butter.
Yeah.
Peanut butter.
dude. Like peanut butter and guava jelly sandwich was my version of like what a PB&J would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about PB&J.
Yeah, and then cheese whiz. That's when I dropped the mic. Cheese whiz.
Yeah.
I've had a cheese whiz sandwich.
Although I'm not gonna lie, ladies' choice, like sandwich bread. I could just eat that on a piece of bread. And not be
A1.
like-
Is that our Japanese mayo?
No, that's our.
QB.
I'm not gonna lie. Actually, sandwich bread is actually tartar sauce because it has like pickles in it and shit. So it's like we've been eating tartar sauce sandwiches in the Philippines for the longest time.
That's so funny.
I've had a lot of like the Filipino stuff. Like, what is the equivalent here to there? And it's like I get it. Like I
Yeah.
think if you grow up with it and you think this is like this is how Americans eat, so Filipinos got to make some sort of equivalency of it. Like what's that cheese called?
Cheese whiz, Eden.
Eden. I remember I tried that. I was like, whoa,
This is
this is some. I was like,
Yeah.
some salty plastic right here, son.
Yep.
And did it melt slightly?
Oh yeah, you tried eating queso de bola? Ain't nobody can eat that. That's a candle.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a candle.
That's like an eating challenge.
Yeah, it's like
Actually.
oh gosh.
You can break your teeth.
If you were gonna take one Filipino original condiment
Mhm.
and you were gonna try to use it and try to use it as like a dish here in the States, what would it be?
A condiment?
Filipino
As
Or
condiment?
take like a Filipino condiment and put it with like an American like dish.
Ooh. You know what? I think I would use like fish, like dato puti fish sauce
Ooh,
Oh, interesting.
with French fries.
that's
Yeah, but unsalted French fries. I want to try to make that dip, but you also gotta crush like a sili labuyo in it. You know what I mean?
All right, don't give it away.
Yeah, sili labuyo is basically a hot pepper.
I mean, I would dip French fries in Mang Tomas. That's just me.
Oh shit! Okay, you win.
I'm just saying, like that stuff is good.
It's pretty much liver gravy.
Yeah.
Aunt Tomas's liver gravy.
All right, should we get into a quick what's it called? Speed round thingy?
Speed round
For like 3 minutes. See a little just rapid fire.
We're doing speed.
We can do a little speed.
speed round.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Pop quiz hot shot.
Popcorn hot shot. Popcorn hot shot.
hot shot tang ina shit.
You want the fish balls or the bola
Do you know
bola?
Oh, fish balls are so good.
Imagine the fact that
That's-
you wow.
That's the
Say
one I
that
want to
again?
bring here. I mean,
Oh,
like
say
a
that
lot of
again?
people.
That's hard. Fish balls are hard to indoctrinate to Americans.
So like I don't.
You
Look,
can't call them fish balls.
No, I know.
like
gotta call them something else.
How do we like make that into like how Americanized like hot dog stands are here? Like,
You just have to serve it and
fishbowl
call it
stands.
something cute and put like a fucking Instagrammable background for all the
Like
girls.
balls in your mouth.
Mm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Lost your investors right there. The
Yeah.
BIYM.
business pitch. Throw it away.
Boom, boom. That's more like it sounds like give it to me like boom.
There you go. That's your stand at Chase Center.
No, I think balls on a stick still sounds good.
Balls on a stick.
All right, before
Balls on a stick.
we go speed round, you mentioned fish balls. I think we should talk about street vendor foods.
Oh, top. What's your
That-
top?
I mean, it's all nostalgia for me. 'Cause
What's your
I've been
top?
back in a long
What's
time.
your top three that like? What's your top three that you know wouldn't translate well here? Because I know there's some haters. Okay, I like Tahoe though. I've had. Yeah.
Tahoe.
Yeah, but like no
Oh,
one
true,
likes
true,
silken
true.
tofu here. It's
Sil-
just not gonna. It's
silken
just too
tofu-
weird.
Just- little brown
even if you
sugar on top, though,
even
babe?
if you sell silken tofu with sago in it and like the
Even if
sweet-
you sub the sago with boba, it
Yeah.
might. It actually might work.
Okay, top
yeah,
three.
but
You
no
have
one
you
wants
have
to eat like silken tofu.
Yeah.
you have that. What's your second one?
Banana Q.
Banana Q?
Banana Q with like the white sugar, like and it has to be margarine and white sugar. It has to be like the yellowest,
Yeah.
plasticky looking margarine and
Yep.
then white sugar. Just
Star.
Yeah, Star Margarine.
Oh my
Shout out
god,
Star Margarine. You can put that in
that's
there.
that's the perfect baon size for me.
It's true. That's true.
Not a bone.
This would not translate probably because the health department would shut it down.
Yeah.
And it's not even that dangerous, but the steamed corn on the cart.
Yes. They call it Japanese corn, man, but it's like that.
They call it Japanese corn?
Yeah, in the up where you Northerners live, they call it Japanese sweet corn.
I didn't know that. They were just called maize.
Maize.
Yeah.
Maize. Oh my gosh.
So, okay, for the people who don't know, if you don't want to like Google and YouTube this, in the Philippines, you know, there would be vendors for like ice cream and everyone was on carts. Like
Yes.
food trucks weren't a thing, right? You had to hustle, you build yourself a cart and you're like, okay, what's my hustle? Is it ice cream? Is it corn? Is it fish balls? Is it barbecue? Is it whatever?
Salted tofu.
And you have to be mobile, right? You go through all the neighborhoods, you yell out what you're selling.
Yeah.
Kids and adults come running. Could be holla holla. Yeah, to halt. But
We should have John do like an abridged version of just like Filipino culture in like a 30-minute podcast.
But
like,
you
I
got-
mean, you would be more qualified.
No, Francis is just.
I'd be more like, yeah, he right. You
You're like a
talk
hype
that.
man.
Yeah, he
Um,
right.
But
He ain't
so
lying.
the corn would be in this really interesting contraption because it's basically this man-made cart,
Drum?
and it was like this huge, essentially a steel tub
Yeah.
that was boiling the whole time. I don't know
Oh.
how. Maybe it had
Gas.
fire, right?
Had gas.
So it had a kerosene thing.
Yeah.
So the
Oh
water
my
would be
God.
boiling, and it would be steaming
The
this
fact-
corn.
You know what's so
Yeah.
funny? Anytime like my dad and like my mom, they always say kerosene.
Oh.
We say LPG.
They
Wow,
know like my
you're
dad and all
fancy.
that, like they always say kerosene.
You know why it's LPG?
Uh-uh.
Liquid petroleum gas.
Wow.
I always hear kerosene.
Kerosene? Fucking camper. Anyway, continue with
I
the
know, sorry.
Yeah. So and it was, and you probably had the same experience where it was it like burlap? What was it? Was a cloth that
it's
went
like
around.
it's like a thick burlap.
Yeah, and it covered it so like the steam wouldn't escape.
To entrap it, yeah.
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 And when they opened it, the steam would escape. I don't know how that guy had fingers. Like it was.
I don't know how he had a face.
Yeah.
Because that steam is like fucking 212.
It's bad. Yeah, it's
Dude,
really hot.
it's really hot. But the guy's like used to it.
Yeah, and he just like he used tongs. Like he wasn't, he
The
grabbed it.
yeah.
And so and the reason why it was so delicious, guys, is because it was in the husk. So they husk
All
it
that
for you
flavor.
live, right?
Yeah.
So the silk was still on it, and it was just this piping hot thing. They husk it, they put it on a barbecue stick, skewer.
Yeah, skewer.
and then they would brush butter and salt.
Yeah.
Mm.
Fuck.
So butter and then sprinkle with
Yeah.
salt, and then there you go. It was like 5 pesos when I was.
I know.
young.
It's like it's amazing.
And it was so good, and it was one of those things where you couldn't wait to eat, but you would burn the shit out of your mouth,
Yeah.
which I did every time.
It's like hot pizza. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like each kernel was basically like a pot of hot
Like,
water. It's like
Yep. But it was an
Burning it up.
explosion of salty, sweet,
butter.
and just umami.
Oh,
Because corn is,
It's
come on,
corn, sweet,
it's
baby.
amazing,
I
and
missed that.
Kjorn?
yeah.
Kjorn? I fucking
Kjorn.
love Kjorn, man. Is sweet corn?
Sweet Kjorn?
Yeah.
Sweet Kjorn?
So again, my Caucasian girlfriend loves to eat corn, and then when we started dating, I was like, oh, I put butter and salt on mine, and she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, how else would you eat it? And she's like, I just eat it. I'm like,
What?
that's such a waste. So I did the butter and salt.
That's such a
I was like, here you go, try this. And she's like, can you keep doing that every time we eat corn? I'm like, you can do it yourself. It's butter and salt. It's not
It's like
magic.
people just like eating a piece of bread and like, I'm just eating the bread like this. Put some butter on it.
Well, they're potato. What do you mean?
Oh my God.
What do you want? They don't know.
Have you ever?
They don't like flavor.
This is crazy. Have you ever eaten like a piece of bread with just butter and sugar in it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so good. Where do you think butter toast comes from? All these young kids are like, butter toast is delicious. I'm like,
When
I
me
ate
and
that when I was
Francis
4.
first started like working together, right? We worked together. We worked together. For
I'm
this
not
food-
crazy, folks.
food
Butter and
truck,
sugar is
it's
delicious.
It's so good.
We worked together in this food truck company, right? But we were the commissary prep cooks who did all the prep and send the food off to all the food trucks. And we had this. We had a bun mi on the menu.
Yeah.
Right, but the owner was like, "Hey, before you send the bread out, before you send the bread out, hollow the top of the bread out, so when they close the sandwich, people aren't eating a lot of bread." I'm like, oh, "Okay, that makes sense." Right, and we would save the bread and turn it into breadcrumbs or whatever. Right, so I did all the bread, I put it in a container, right, and I'm gonna go get some like I'm like, oh, I gotta go get the lid, and then I'll label it, blah, blah, blah. I go back. I'm like, where the fuck's the bread at? And Francis goes like, hey, I took some of the bread. I'm like, oh, do we have enough like breadcrumbs? He's all like, yeah, we got plenty. I'm just gonna toast these. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Dog.
See, this motherfucker, get it.
Dog.
Candy condensada.
Yeah, dude.
And it's on that what's that thing called?
The conveyor belt
toaster.
So we're seeing
watching
that shit.
that shit. Like, oh yeah.
And then he goes like, wait. And I was like, you Filipino motherfucker.
All right, so this can be edited out. This is your cue to edit out to do one of these. Only because this, I just thought of something.
Leave it in. We're leaving it in.
If you guys ever wanted to venture out into a business of your own, a restaurant, a food truck, whatever, call it baon. Do all the classics.
I'm already doing that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do all the classics, like the split hot dog, and of course, fancify, like make it more a modern take for the non-Filipinos. But the people who will get it, you will see when they read the menu, they're like, wait a minute.
Is that the...
This is a good idea for people of like who actually know the whole concept of the baon. Because if it's like,
but you gotta be able to like,
but you don't. But that's the thing. It's
you gotta
magic because you don't have to.
Yeah,
which is true.
Let's pretend that like you're just not.
Also, you're introducing the idea to them. Kind of.
Essentially, but more so
you'll win over the crowd that can read it and be like, oh shit, I know what that is. But then to win the hearts and minds of the non-Filipino folk,
you do it for this moment right here.
It's like
one of those.
You like that,
and that'll happen like once every other month.
It's like,
or they do one of those like.
Dude, the one of these like.
I'll take. I'll take 6.
And then you can sell lunch boxes for the kids.
Dude,
come on.
The guy starts playing like
now I almost feel like I have to edit this out to make sure.
That's what I'm saying.
This is the Big Boy Cooking Club patent pending baon LLC. You heard it first.
you know they're listening, right? Google and
yeah, but I said LLC, so they can't take it. Patent pending.
Baon. Bet you there's some guy in fucking like Texas already doing this shit.
There's some Filipino hacker somewhere. It's like, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna tell my cousin Bong Bong.
Cousin.
Oh, did you just say cousin? That's very mean. Very true.
Or auntie.
Oh my god.
Oh. Okay.
That's your auntie Tintin.
I have a cousin Tintin.
And your tito.
Oh man.
We're not in it.
And your cousin. Oh fuck. Okay.
Oh my God.
Speed round.
They're not gonna get that shit.
No.
Speed round stuffs.
Okay.
You ready? You have one in your head?
Fuck. I'm not ready.
All right. This is just random stuff. If you've listened to the certain podcasts, we like to go like.
Are we doing Filipino speed round or just like
anything? You can go Filipino too.
Hamburgers, hot dogs.
Oh, hot dogs.
Whoa.
Hot take.
That is a hot take.
That is a hot take.
Because it's just easier.
Also, depends on how much you're eating.
Bun, no bun when you eat hot dog.
Fun.
What the fucking what?
Filipinos, man. Anytime I've done hot dogs at parties for my family,
has that marshmallow in the end?
Get the fuck
It's stuck in a pineapple.
Forgot about that. Those marshmallows were good for some reason.
I told you.
I didn't understand it either. It's one of those things like, I don't understand this. Just eat it.
Salty sweet.
They were like pastel pink.
Yeah, they were like pink and green and whatever.
Minty colors.
It's salty sweet.
You know, it's the actually it's the palate cleanser.
It could also be
Eat the hot dog
chaser.
This marshmallow definitely clears the palate.
Oh my god.
I can taste the nice red coloring in the hot dog.
Oh shit. Processed carbo meat. Let's go.
Okay.
Would you rather have Gilby's gin or Tanduay rum?
Oh.
I want to say Tanduay rum only because gin is still something that I'm kind of getting used to.
But you've had both?
I've had both. Oh, Gilby's?
I don't think I've had Gilby's.
Dude.
Oh, actually,
it's antiseptic.
Actually, it's Ginebra gin.
Oh, it is Ginebra gin. I don't think so.
It comes in a fucking It comes in a bottle that should be
And
left
it'll-
in church or something.
It'll turn your insides.
Here's another thing. In the Philippines, there is there probably is, but no one cares. There is no enforced legal limit to buy cigarettes or
And
alcohol.
yes.
So my uncles and my dad would send me to the store.
Here's
a
the
block
money.
away. Give me the money.
Here's the money.
And I'm like 5-6 years old.
Oh, wait. Get a bottle.
I think yeah.
For
Sometimes.
deposit.
Yeah. And so those God, if you worked in restaurants, these are basically like the dish racks for the
Yeah, yeah,
dishwasher.
yeah.
That's what they look like. The case of beer would come in that. It was
Gotta
like
bring
this
that shit?
classic. And they had him. It's like a 24. I don't know. I forgot what the case was.
It's 24.
24 bottles of
Yeah,
San
I
Miguel or
remember, 'cause
whatever.
I've-
So I'd go. I'm like, I need a case of San Miguel and 2 packs of Marlboro Reds.
Yeah.
And they always had the gate like closed for some reason, and they would only open it to give you the thing because crime. You want to get mugged.
Sorry
But-
stores.
But I was 5 or 6 years old, lugging back a case of beer and cigarettes for my uncles and my dad, who were getting drunk, eating pulutan snacks, while playing darts.
Drunken snacks.
Darts.
They're playing baraha.
So,
Playing baraha.
and it was good memories, but it was like one of those things where you move to America and you're like, that definitely would not happen here. Like
Do you-
child service would be at our door in a second. But
Do you miss the smell of katol?
What? What is that?
oh, you want to explain to them what it is?
Oh, no, we got like 5 minutes too.
It's like this green thing that you light
It's
up.
there's
It's
an
a
American word
mosquito
for it.
repellent.
Yeah, it's I forget.
It's
I don't want to
repellent.
Google it.
It's a repellent.
Yeah, and you burn it, so and it comes in a coil like a spiral. So because if you burn it in a straight, it just like it's done, right?
Oh.
But this goes slow, and the smoke repels.
Oh,
it's,
yeah,
like,
I've seen that.
it's like citronella, like
Yes,
OG.
that's-
Yeah, Filipino
Essentially.
version.
So much better.
Yeah, I do actually miss that.
I miss that too.
Yeah. And what's the thing? The sheets that you put over your bed?
The
called
mosquito net.
Yeah.
The
Fuck, I don't remember. But yeah, mosquitoes were so bad in the Philippines.
Ask him
you
because
had
I'm gonna
to put-
step out and can I use your bathroom real quick?
Yeah, it's just right there.
what the hell
Ask
was
if
that?
you.
What was it called? It's gonna.
I know this. I know this. I'm okay. You have the mosquito net, and it's the fucking shit. Kulambo.
Yes.
It's the kulambo.
Yeah.
I'm the worst Filipino ever.
I forgot it.
I mean, like,
But for some reason, I can't forget the word gusali, which is building in Tagalog. Gusali.
yes,
G-U-S-A-L-I.
yes.
It's like, and Filipinos don't even use that word.
Yeah, I know. It's gusali. It's gusali.
You don't. You don't. If you speak Tagalog, you don't go, look at that gusali
No,
there. You
no.
don't. You
You-
say, look at that, and you name the building.
Look at the quad.
The bank.
Look at the bank.
library.
Look at the school. Look at the city hall. You don't say gusaling panglungsod.
Yeah.
Which is like, the city building. It's like no one ever says that shit.
It's too long. People are lazy. It's hot over there,
Well, that's the thing too. The Filipinos are so used to like just saying the English version of words. That's why
True.
we're so good at like being just like English speakers in
Yeah,
Southeast
yeah.
Asia.
Yeah.
So when they visit us in the Philippines, they're all like, "Wow, you guys speak English?" I'm like, first of all, racist. Number two, yeah, because everybody else in the world speaks like,
Oh, dude.
you know.
The variety shows are fucking ridiculous over there.
Ooh, all right. Had to go to the peepees from all that beer and cocktail and vodka.
I thought you said from all that.
You forgot your mosquito net thing?
He remembered.
It's
What is it?
kulambo.
Oh,
I know a girl that like doesn't use it, but she just has it on her feet and she just rubs it on her feet
Interesting.
when she sleeps at night.
Like it's a
Kinky.
security thing. Like it helps her sleep.
Kinky. Yes.
That's interesting.
well,
Yeah, but it feels nice because it's like a
It's like kind of silky,
Textural-
but still kind of rough.
yeah, it's like a fishing net kind of thing, but it's kind of like rubbing against like something.
I can see
and we
that.
totally just stepped away from speed round and just,
Fucking yeah.
should we continue with like 2 speed questions? I don't know.
Yeah.
Would you rather have
Yes.
Filipino would you rather have 3-piece Filipino barbecue on a stick,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Or
Or fuck, what's like a
chicken and asal.
no? I'm trying to think of an American equivalent like
Oh, what? 3-piece barbecue.
Filipino barbecue on a stick.
3-piece barbecue.
Is there
Do you know?
and
Okay, we should finish out with just doing an accent.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a 3-piece barbecue fork?
It's barbecue because you're
Can't even do it without laughing.
fucker says it's barbecue.
Barbecue fork.
God damn it. You sound like you're trying to like be sexy with a date.
I know.
Hey, what's
Like,
up?
do you like that barbecue?
You like that?
You want to take off your fanties?
Fantis. Fantis is so
I can't even think of any more questions.
Let me just grab my beneg.
I have no kulambo, so you can just go in. I have the katol ready.
Do you realize how much work I gotta put in for every time you say that? I gotta put the caption like right here.
Well, they gotta figure that shit out. You know,
Yeah,
we'll just put Can you put captions in?
I can just like type it in and
All
like.
right, we got to do that because I think a lot of our watchers, 3, are asking are asking for like subs or like definitions and stuff.
I know.
Like just like, dude, just
Yeah,
put
that would
it
be
out there.
kind of cool.
But yeah, have you ever been to like Filipino?
Are we gonna wrap this or should we?
No, we can still keep going. Buck,
It's gonna take a long time for me to render, babe.
it's fine.
It's
fine.
not fine.
It's fine. Should we just wrap it?
Yeah, let's wrap it.
You can wrap it.
Oh my gosh.
What's a good final question for John? To encompass coffee, cocktails, and Filipino culture and cuisine.
Let's see.
What are 2 misconceptions about craft coffee? 2 misconceptions on
That's a long
craft
question.
cocktails, and what future do you want to see of Filipino cuisine? Hopefully in the mainstream.
Just pick one question, bro.
I can answer that quickly.
He's very polished when he speaks.
I think for coffee.
That's good. That's good.
What if I just go Russian like, well, I think in coffee.
Coffee
We can
is
do when you do the instructions.
His face is strong like bull.
What happens? Strong like bull for the women.
Eastern, is that Eastern?
Would you like
Southern?
popcorn? He's mixed.
When you process the curn to make the
Russian Filipino.
Misconceptions about craft coffee, I think, and this goes with cocktails and beer and culinary.
Yeah.
Price does not equate quality,
Uh-huh.
and quality shouldn't always be, and sometimes is not expensive. So that's kind of like it's a blanket statement in a sense, but it applies to a lot of things.
So when people are buying 12 ounces for like $15, what do you think they're paying for?
I think a lot of people equate, because America, you expect, and Filipinos too, you expect a certain volume of thing when you pay a certain price,
Costco.
100%.
right? That doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it's priced at. Quality things can and usually are pricier, but the quality is there, right?
True.
It's like, would you rather drink Popov vodka in a plastic thing,
I have.
or go at the very base of like Ciroc? I don't know anything about vodka, guys, but
It's a great use or some
I'm
shit.
the worst Russian. I don't know anything about vodka.
Vodka.
So as far as buying coffee, it really depends on what you want flavor-wise out of it,
And then out of that coffee
and how
question,
you're preparing it.
watching you make me a pour over.
Mm-hmm.
When the Joe Schmoes of the world who make coffee,
Mm-hmm.
is temperature when people are making coffee, is the water too hot, not hot enough, or not cool enough?
The temperature of the water matters less than the quality of said water.
Oh
Right?
shit.
Coffee is 98%, 99% water, 98.5, whatever. Someone's gonna correct me on that in the comments, I'm sure. But
Don't correct him, please.
it's think about the volume of the water in that drink. If your water is caca and not filtered, or just high quality water,
Caca
and
means shit.
I have, you can do pH balancing and TDS tests on the water and kind of manipulate that to get better water. The water, thankfully, in the Bay is really good, right out of the tap. You don't have to do much to it.
Yeah,
New York has
right.
amazing water. LA, your water fucking sucks.
If it's cloudy as the sky.
This
It's
is
soot. There's soot in water in
That's
LA.
disgusting.
You can see little black particles.
true.
It's bad. So yeah, that's coffee, cocktails. I mean,
The $15, $16 cocktails.
time and a place.
Okay.
Like with everything,
okay.
time and a place.
Damn.
Right? If you're getting a $15 cocktail that's like smoked, they make their own bitters, they make their own syrups, they make everything in house, they barrel age things, paying for that 100%.
Oh, okay.
If I go to a dive bar, you know, and the drinks are like $6, I'm like having a Jack and Coke, you know? Or because, you know, like if they're going to be old fashioned, they're mashing the shit out of some orange and some poor maraschino cherries, the bright ones, not the good ones.
The Sunday ones.
Yeah. Which is, again, time and a place. I've had it. I've actually made one a week ago. It was delicious. But I'm not going to trust that quality cocktail. I'm not going to blame the bartender either. I'm going to get a Jack and Coke or something neat.
Wow.
Right? Because, you know,
Church.
it's one of those things. Like, don't be the yupper. It's like, oh, this place didn't have this. It's like, you're at Zeitgeist. You know, like,
Shouts to Zeitgeist.
What do you mean?
Shouts to Zeitgeist.
But if you get a Bloody Mary from Zeitgeist,
Oh, Mamma Mia.
oh,
It's a spicy meatball.
that Bender's has amazing Bloody Marys.
Bender's is good.
540 Club,
I've been there in a while.
dude, so good, so good.
And then lastly, if there was gonna a Filipino food, if there was gonna be an actual fast food Filipino, like McDonald's style, Panda Express style equivalent, not Jollibee because that's not Filipino cuisine.
Goddamn. Yeah.
What 3 items you think could win the hearts of Americans?
Kare bowl.
Oh,
All right, that's your
Yeah.
okay.
Add fried egg.
I just call everything Donburi and just pretty much make, you know.
We're licensing that. LLC. Kare bowl. Donburi bowl.
LLC.
Oh, man. You know what? Actually, this is not really answering your question, but I think introducing the Americans to actual ube, and I'm talking about halal. I'm talking about like the actual like
I'm looking at you, posers.
or halaya, not halal. The actual ube, that's like stringy and starchy and
Yes.
delicious, you know, and you have to process it to get it to like a dessert, you know, texture. Essentially, of course, you don't just eat a freaking potato.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Like the halaya spread, yeah.
Yeah. But like, make it in house. Figure out a way. I don't know. Maybe we can grow it here. You know, like Mexico's right there. We have. They've been growing our mangoes for a while.
True.
Ube so picky.
Right. So you assume okay, ube. Okay, ube. What kind
That's
of
more
like
dessert,
what entree? Like if you were gonna pick like an iconic fast food, it's a McDonald's like iconic kind of thing, like a Big Mac. What Filipino dish would you want to see?
Beef steak.
That's dude. Your thing is so. It might win. I don't know.
No, I think it would work. I think
Beef steak. What? Like how would you?
I think so, and this is not fast food. Sinigang would translate well because of tom yum soup from Thai. And a lot of people were like, oh, that's delicious. Lemongrass, it's amazing. And you just kind of sneak that in, you know?
Kind of like pho.
Yeah.
Don't you ever compare Senegal to?
You know what? I actually, based on that idea, I want bak choy to come here.
Ooh.
La Paz bak choy.
Yeah.
The one that's made with like the tinapa and like the shrimp paste. That kills me.
All right. Okay. Well, geez, Fat Boy James for sure. Wrap it. John, do you want to shout out anything?
You guys are doing an amazing job.
you
You
are.
actually, this is true story. I was doing what was I doing? I was like doing editing or doing just like, you know, learning at home, like e-learning for new skill
Whatever.
sets.
Playing
And I
with
would put
the
you guys
sports.
on in the background and I would chuckle out of nowhere.
Now you're
Everyone's
gonna
like, what are you talking about? It's like, don't worry about it. You don't
Yeah.
get it.
Now I'm gonna be chuckling on the tomorrow listening to this.
I'm wearing Excelsior coffee shirt.
Oh, hey, let's
Shout out.
let's shout out to Excelsior Coffee. They
Yeah.
got a block party event.
That's right.
This
Yep.
Saturday.
Their block parties are really fun and they're all about the community. Like the whole neighborhood comes out. Yeah, they're doing it right, man.
I mean, by the time this comes out, it's probably going to be over. But like
true.
they do this more
I
often.
can get this. I can get this going by tomorrow. I just gotta render it in the morning, early.
Okay. Excelsior Coffee, right?
Excelsior coffee.
What's the address or where it is?
It's somewhere in the Mission.
Google it.
It's somewhere in the Mission.
It's near like I don't know.
It's kind
It's
of
a couple blocks from Mission and
Roxton.
Silver.
Near
Yeah.
Roxton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Google it, folks. You're in the fucking world of Google and maps.
that's
Yeah.
true.
If you see the lightning bolts, you're in the right place.
Yep.
That's it.
Shout out your handles.
John.Maniquis on IG. It's lame. I don't really post.
And he's also designed my insignia and
Oh, yeah,
like
that's
script
right.
and like logo.
That's
So
right,
this
yeah.
is thanks to this guy right here.
Yeah, it was
bad
fun.
Bad skills.
Yeah.
I'm gonna close it out. I'm Kris,
And I'm Kuya Francis.
And I'm John.
and this has been a very special episode of the Big Boy Cooking Club. Peace.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Tulog na.
At the bottom, what's that translate for?
Go to sleep. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're gonna have fun
Doing that.
rendering that shit.